Hello. Hello there. Hope everybody's doing famously. Nice long intro, nice long soft series of music, just everything kind of relaxed today on this, let's call it potentially lazy Sunday, hopefully lazy Sunday, maybe a little bit, would be cool. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday or whatever day it is where you are. And yes, I am saying that because I do happen to have a friend in Australia who it will be Monday if he jumps on. Gotta make a quick adjustment, 1 second. There we go. Nice quick adjustment. But yeah, we have a friend in Australia here that if he jumps on or jumps in, happens to want to commentate, it'll be Monday for him. It'll be Monday morning, even though it's mid-afternoon here on a Sunday. And I do hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. If I happen to be a little bit slow or more relaxed for your taste, maybe you're looking for top-tier skill, maybe you're looking for fast-paced shooting, maybe you're looking for modern games, maybe you're looking for uber retro games, something that falls along the lines of Intellivision, ColecoVision, Atari, and I am not scratching whatever itch it should be that you have right now. I have a couple of different various channels that I might recommend that fall more into that category. So at the moment, of course, I'm not playing anything quite as far back as Coleco Atari. I'm playing GameCube, which is only moderately retro. If you're one of those who are an NES, SNES purist, you might more enjoy some of the channels down in the description. I have Thumb Bros, who can be found on both Twitch and YouTube, where he normally does Let's Play and Let's Learn speedrunning. For the most part, it has recently been a Link to the Past for Super Nintendo, but he does a ton of Contra and Ninja Gaiden, and I believe that there are some new ones in the work, though not mine to spoil, for the NES. And then, of course, we have Omega Ace Gaming. Omega Ace has been playing some really interesting games, of course. He kind of does just what he kind of feels like. I think he gets games recommended to him. And he's playing Order of Ecclesia right now. Order of Ecclesia being a game that I had played on this channel. And him being a very deep Castlevania fan. Very much worth checking out. So I would recommend taking a look at his stuff. He's also playing a Street Fighter game. Very, very interesting Street Fighter game, so I think it's well worth taking a look at. We also have Ash for Ash Plays Video Games. He's got some stuff in the works, though he hasn't uploaded anything yet. You might want to stay appraised of what's coming, because there is a lot of good stuff coming. Again, I don't know exact dates, but I know what he's kind of been working on, and I'm very excited to say that I think you'll want to be a part of that when it finally launches. And then, of course, we have Vidi from Vidi's Gaming Videos and Vidi Plays, where you can get full long-form content, both scripted, you can get React content, and you can even just get candid gameplay video on Vidi Plays. Very nice and relaxing. It's fun to just kind of watch him play and have fun. One of my favorite playthroughs of his was the Banjo-Kazooie one, of course, being a huge fan of that myself, but he has also played Silent Hill, Resident Evil 5, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, I believe, is on there, or maybe Tears of the Kingdom. I can't remember exactly. They're broken up into much more digestible, bite-sized pieces, and so, as a general rule, I've had to jump through. But there's a pretty good backlog to take a look at. Last but not least, if you happen to be more into the modern gaming portion, my recommendation then might be to incline towards my beautiful wife's channel at the Siren Ivy, where right now I believe she's playing on Twitch Chaos Mod. She was playing the Medium, and then I believe she was playing the Chaos Mod for Red Dead Redemption. If you're not familiar, Chaos Mod is where random things spawn in at random times. They're on this kind of cycled timer, and then just random things will happen and cause absolute and utter chaos. So an adequately named modification. So yeah. Otherwise, I think we're going to go ahead and start to jump into our game here. So let's go ahead and fade this music out. And we'll jump over. Now, I want to go ahead and give a couple of heads up. This game, of course, is a horror game. I think we're somewhere around the neighborhood of the halfway mark. So we've still got lots of good game to go. After this, I am going to be playing another game. It's very short, but I wanted to throw it in there. Another horror game, let me be very clear, that I'm looking to play. It is a very contentious game, or it was a very contentious game. I want to be very clear that that game covers a ton of what would by today's standards not be considered safe material. I'm not talking about nudity, I'm talking about topics that people are uncomfortable mentioning online and speaking aloud today. This was a heavily contentious game when it came out originally in the 90s, and the game was actually banned in certain places. It was heavily censored in some of the places. We are going to be playing a fully functional version with only the final censors that they brought in. They did bring in a couple of censors. They thought things would go a little too far, and I'll mention where those are in the game, but the game is itself relatively short, and I'm looking to play it right after this, and then I probably will be jumping back into some more Hat in Time, where we're going to take a break from the horror for a little bit, and we're just going to jump back in. I'll go back into Hat in Time, and I'll probably be playing the DLC for that, because just nice and uplifting and bright and shiny, and I had a lot of fun with that game also, so I'll probably have to shake off some dust and go back into it. But when we last left off, we were in the Roivas mansion, and we did pick up, by the way, there we go. We did pick up a revolver, and we found the journal of M. Roivas, Maximilian, who was the doctor we played who was recently committed. 38 revolver ammo, so we actually have revolver ammo and the revolver. Now we're going to take a look. I think we already checked this, but we'll take a look again. This is a page from Maximilian Roivas' journal. It reads, "Everything that brightened my life now engulfed me in darkness. I fed on the light of truth, yet starved on the shadow of lies. I have learned through my lifetime, but no less than a newborn baby." To me, this actually stands pretty true. One of the greatest things we know is that one of the greatest things we should know is that we know nothing. Commit yourself, I think, to being a lifelong and lifetime student, and you will be, I think, a fairly happy individual. Commit yourself to believing that you know all that you need know, and you will find very readily that there will be circumstances which will point out to you where you are wrong. So now we can actually read this journal entry, and I believe this will actually bring us into our next piece. This appears to be a page from the Tome of Eternal Darkness. It is entitled, "A Journey into Darkness. Use the item to read the chapter." Yes, we're going to go ahead and read it. It's going to transport us back.
The ancients' influence was incredible. From all walks of life to all parts of the world, their tendrils crept and wrought their insidious damage. Their prisons decayed constantly as their guardians' work continued. I discovered mention of a breakthrough in satellite radar imaging that revealed the presence of a hitherto unknown temple mound in the Angkor Thom region of Cambodia. An archaeologist of some repute, Dr. Edwin Lindsay, took it upon himself to investigate the area, to reveal the secrets of history. Unfortunately, the local government at the time thought differently.
Of course.
Requiring that Lindsay find other means into the country and to finance the expedition. He found these in Paul Augustine, a collector of rare items who professed an interest in the discovery and agreed to help. After a dysentery-riddled
There's a lot of... Oh, good Lord.
Lindsay and Augustine located the remains of an ancient city temple dating back to the 12th century.
And we have to remember that in this case, Alex Roivas is only in the year 2000.
It has to be. I hadn't expected the information to pan out, but here it is. The satellite data was correct.
For years,
So he said dysentery rent.
without success.
Let's see. He said.
Long clouded from us beneath the great ancient's insidious.
I'm wondering which one of these we're going to be.
Your performance, Dr. Lindsay.
Okay, good.
Pleased. In fact,
He said dysentery riddled, so I'm assuming our health is going to have suffered a little bit from that. We have to get away from the Christopher Lloyd-esque judge character from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
God. You are a scholar, Dr. Lindsay, not a warrior. In that regard, I have several centuries more experience than you.
Okay, so this guy is probably the Centurion in...
And you will not suffer.
He's probably the Centurion in some magical disguise.
Me, Lindsay. This place will
Oh,
be
yeah.
your tomb, just as it is Mantarok's. Guardians of Chaturga, kill him!
So Chaturga is the one that I chose to be my patron, so to speak, I suppose. I wonder then... Okay, so let's take a look. So my health isn't awful, my magic is abysmal. What do we have? We have 40... That looks like a lighter. We have 45 pistol ammo. We have shotgun shells. We have an archaeologist's brush, a torch, our shotgun, and our automatic pistol. And a kukri, which looks to be a form of machete. Let's equip the shotgun, actually. Let's do that first. Got a pretty good amount of shotgun shells. Oh, okay. Did he drain health from me, or what? No, he called something further forth. Okay, why he doesn't seem to be getting hurt by the... I don't understand why he doesn't seem... Let's borrow the... Hey, Ash, how you doing? Let's borrow this thing. Okay. Okay, so he stuck me there. He's able to freeze me there, and he does a lot of sanity damage. Oh, you have to hit him in the back. Let's see if we can... I don't understand what in the world we're supposed to do here. I don't have the Tome of Eternal Darkness, and this isn't going to open. Hope all is well. I'll try to pop back in a bit. No worries. So he does a ton of sanity drain, which, of course, if you're unfamiliar, sanity drain is dangerous because it becomes health drain. I think his wings block when... It seemed like that. It seemed like I could hit him... It seemed like I could hit him in the back here. Okay, yeah. It seemed like I was able to hit him in the back. Oh, well. I need to finish him. That wasn't the one I needed to finish, but that's okay. It was an abysmal start. But that's okay. We'll make it. Or we won't. It'll just depend. I need to... So I'm actually pretty fast with this little thing, this little machete. Okay, is it going to give me finish him for a yes, for some sanity? And I just toss it down like you normally would.
Oh, help me.
Okay, let's take a look at this. A thick layer of dust obscures the tiles of the floor, which of course we can fix because we have an archaeologist's brush. Now we can examine this a little bit more. And oh, okay. A bronze bracelet has been discovered under the dust covering the floor. Hopefully this gives us some sort of healing. But it probably is just a bronze bracelet. Let's see. Yep, he can't use it. So it may just be a key to a door. Yeah, so that was a rough fight to just start with. It's always rough when you're not acclimated to the character. A statue of a seated goddess, where her neck and wrists should bear jewelry, there are merely worn grooves and flecks of bronze dust. Had they been stolen by grave robbers? Well, we do know that at least one of them is right there. And what that means is with the multitude of arms, we're probably going to have to go and find additional bracelets and bangles and the like. I understand where the tablet was obscured, but I think it would be very difficult to obscure the bracelet from us knowing. Okay. An incomplete statue. But wait, do we what else? Who else do we have? Anthony. Okay. And Kareem. So far these are all those who had bore the burden of the book. Elia, yep. And then this one, what did this one say again? I believe that was the Centurion, but I could be wrong. And then as we come up here, this is probably going to be for Maximilian, yes? M. Roivas. Yep, there he is. Which, my character doesn't know it, but that right there is probably the one for me. Cradled in what appears... well, I know we've read this, but cradled in what appears to be a leathery hand lies a mysterious book. It is bound in human skin and intricately decorated with shrunken bones. It beckons and yearns to be possessed should Lindsay claim the tome. I wish it were possible to say no and then just none of the horrors happen, just be done. It was Pius' statue earlier. He broke his own statue as the tutorial for targeting. Alright, we saw it. We now possess it. That's wonderful. And that's what I had thought it was. I had thought it was his statue. What I don't understand, and again, I haven't played this game in some time, but what I don't understand is why he decided that it was of benefit to become so awful. That's the thing I don't quite guess I understand yet. Back up. Like, I don't understand. He was it would seem to be a good and just warrior at the very beginning. At least it seemed like it. And then it was maybe that he was just possessed by the spirit of Chiturga in this case, right? Whatever the god that he chose was, right? You have the three gods we chose to Chiturga. Was he just possessed basically by that god, and that was why he decided to turn? And I know he's still talking to him, but this carving represents the growth of the human race, its rise to intelligence and the development of society. It foreshadows the decline of humanity. This is humanity's dusk. Ooh, that kind of does bring us... And so we're actually in the... I recognize where we are. An alcove carries an array of candles. They are arranged to reflect the time of day. Curiously, they are still lit. How is this possible? All the way back from when we lit them as the dancer. But now we're in 1983, where she was at, I can't even remember.
Remember me, Alex.
How can I forget you, Grandpa? You've always meant the most to me. Ever since my parents died.
Yes. Ever since they were killed, you've been my little girl. Yes. My little girl.
Something a little bit possessive.
This isn't really happening.
So, this character is not... I'm sure that's why they gave him all the weapons. His bars are very tiny compared to most of the others. However, we do actually know how to cast some spells, and we do have a minuscule bar. I have to recheck. I have to check really quickly on my quick spell. I chose Recover to be the top up. There we go. Let's bring some of that back for... So he actually brings a pretty decent amount back considering the tiny little magic bar he's got there. Definitely would be of benefit to also bring back some of our sanity. Okay, there we go. It definitely seems... Let me go ahead and save, since I haven't yet. I can't save because the darkness is coming. Hold on. Is the darkness coming over here? No. So let's save. What do we got? 530. We'll overwrite that. Okay. So now we are Dr. Edwin Lindsay, who so far... a little bit rough. Don't have a ton of magic, that's okay. We can recharge that through just doing. Oh, I had forgotten. Okay. So I'm just enjoying looking at this. This is overgrown, basically, from when we were the dancer. Which is adequate because we have this kind of a safari suit on. Oh, it's a cobweb. And the corner is shrouded... the corner is shrouded with dense cobwebs, casting it into shadow, perhaps even hiding something. Let's see. Can we use our torch? Okay. Can we use our... Can we burn that cobweb away? Nope. The cobweb isn't dense enough. Let's... Hold on. The cobweb isn't dense enough for us to need to use this, but let's just... Hold on. Let me see if I can equip the torch. And then examine again, and... No, it's not going to allow me to use it? I can't target it? What else have I? Can I use the brush? Okay, that's not what you would... Okay, fine. I wouldn't normally use a brush to take a cobweb away like that because it would get tangled in the brush. But we'll take it. Hidden behind the strings of the cobweb is carved stone tablet. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take the magical codex. Let's take a look at what it says it is. Oh, well. So this is summon tier. Okay. So that means we're probably somewhere nearby going to find the being that is holding this rune. I'm gonna bet he's got it. Well, dang. Okay, so let's... Shotgun. Equip. Can I... mix that with... Okay, so we got an amulet. Bronze necklace by the nearby. Let's go ahead and take the bronze necklace. And... okay, I'm assuming he's bound by the... yeah. Can I go past this door? No, I can't. He looks to be bound by those runes, as far as I can tell, but I'm assuming that I need to get behind him. Because there's another amulet, it looks like, back here. It's shielded anyway. Oh, he's shielded altogether. Resplendent glowing gems. Okay. I feel like there's a spell I'm gonna have to use. Let's see. Spell list. Enchant, recover, reveal invisible, no. Damage field, no. Spell 7 and spell 9, which we've not figured out. Quick spell. With spell 7 just there, which is a magic one. Let's use spell 9, which I believe is a magic blast. I know, I'm not supposed to move. I felt like I needed to be closer. Spell list. Let's try spell 9 again. Cast. We need to cast what would be blue, right? Because that would be the... I have to remember, I believe blue is the one. Okay, it flickers, but it's not doing... it's not doing anything... it didn't do anything with the spell. Or it doesn't do anything with the bind. So then I guess that question is... what do I do? Okay. What if I used it of the same type? Spell list, spell 9. Cast, we'll cast it as Chaturga. Does definitely more damage. Takes a lot of magic there, of course, but I don't understand what I'm missing here. Let me know if you need a hint. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a hint. I can't shoot him because the barrier is there, but I have to lower the barrier to get around him. New spell. Oh, I need a new spell. Okay. Well, I would assume it would be this guy. Project area. I would absorb. That's reveal invisible. Oh, and new runes. Okay, so if that's the case, then I assume what I need to do is run back. I remembered that time. I assume I need to run back and take this amulet then. Oh, okay. I hadn't intended to stop there. Okay. So I have 2 new runes. Let's go back and put this necklace on this goddess over here that we got. Okay, so I think... why did he shoot? I didn't hit the A button. Okay, well, that's weird. Let's go back to this, use with her. See if we get a new door for that. And, okay, and so that looks like the door that we were in the tunnel there for. So, okay, so now... I'll just equip this for just now. We'll do a little bit of running around. I'm hoping that a stone statue of a Naga, a snake-headed demon, stands guard in the corner of a room. A raised platform stands before it with a bracelet on it. Should he take the bracelet? Yes, but it's probably going to trigger something. And it did. What? Okay. Wait. How do I give it? Well, give me a sec. I'm trying. Okay, this one's a silver bracelet, not the bronze one. Let's check it really quickly. An exquisite bracelet made from silver, designed to be worn around the wrist or ankle. It is embellished with inset gems and engravings. Okay. So this little thing shoots an infinite number of arrows, I suppose. It's not going to let me give it back, and... What do we have? Okay, so that's the Naga, okay. A raised platform demanding... But I can't. Can I use it? Okay, I can. Okay. So there are a couple of things I'm thinking I could very possibly do. Before I do this, let's do some experimenting. I have that, so let's go ahead and heal back up. Okay, so now what I want to try to do is see if the Naga understands the difference between... If it'll let me take it even. If the Naga will let me give her the bronze bracelet and take the silver one. Bronze. No, it won't. Okay. So then in that case I might need to find something... Need to find something. But it was politely asking me to give it back, although it was shooting me with an infinite number of arrows, which unlikely. We're just gonna keep going. Whoops. Okay, I'm already holding it. I don't know if this is a sanity effect, but it doesn't seem to be. This seems to be me really fighting. I need to get out of the center, but I can't move. Okay. Am I hurting that bad? I'm not hurting that bad. What are you holding? Okay, there's a rune there too, so... Let's see if we can... Oh, it didn't let me throw my... I gotta let them not keep pushing me into the center of their little fight circle. Okay, so he took one of the big ones out for me. He didn't take the rune guy out for me, but he's... I'll take him out, and then... Let's come back and take this guy out. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, let's get some sanity back without using magic. Oh, okay, hold on. I didn't want that. Real quick. Let me take him out. There we go. Alright. This design depicts humanity's fall into decadence, corruption, and ultimately oblivion. This is humanity's night, our time. So is that talking about the 80s? I don't remember the 80s being a particularly decadent time. A collection of unlit candles stand atop a low pedestal. Fair enough. Oof. It is nice to have a constant, to have the constant ability to, heal. I know it's not perfect, but it's nice to...
Get away from me.
Okay, so we did acquire... Let's go back and see what we've done here. We did acquire a new rune. We don't know what it does, though. Spell 5. Area. Okay, and I feel like I could probably also do that with this. Yeah, spell 5. The previous hallway had cobwebs? Alright. We'll take a peek at that then really quickly. Come on. I will say one of the things that I didn't mean to do that. One of the things that I do have trouble with is the targeting system. Doesn't always seem... I'll hold the trigger down, but it doesn't seem to always do it the way that I would hope it would. Ah. Finish him for a mild sanity gain. Okay, so this will probably tell me what that rune did. A stone tablet carved in runes is hidden in the corner of the corridor. Magical Codex. Okay, so this might tell me what that actually does, even though I think I have an idea of what it does. So we have spell 5. Let's, just for the fun of it. Dispel, yep. So that's Dispel, and then does it call it spell 5 still if I do area? Yes, it's just going to call it spell 5. But if we say Dispel from area, we know that that also can take care of a... Well... We're just going to go. We'll push him into the blades. Yeah, there we go. I don't know how he wasn't already finished, but we're good. And, oh, we have another, I'm assuming silver for this one. Hiding in the shadows, a statue watches over the... Yep. Statue watches over the room. A brief inspection reveals flecks of silver metal marring the statue's wrist and neck, possibly indicating that a decoration used to be there. Okay, so we know that that silver bracelet's very likely for them. We've got a cobweb. Let's try to take that. And, oop, I did hit A that time. A tattered scroll of paper lies on the floor. Let's pick it up. And the Dispel Magic Scroll. So that's... So now we know exactly what Spell 5 does. No ambiguity at all. And I'm assuming that that's going to, yep, lead us right back here, where we can now use Dispel Magic, which... What I'm going to do firstly, actually, is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull the shotgun out. I'm going to mix this with the shotgun. I think I have 2 shots or 1 shot wasted. Yep, 2 shots. And then I'm going to get ready to use that spell. Can I just use it from the spell list? Okay, perhaps I have to... Let's try that one more time, but instead let's try that with this one. Oh, okay. Well, that was much easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, okay. This particular depiction represents the prosperity of humanity and its domination over the world. This is humanity's day. That was much easier than I thought it was going to be. I did not expect it to be very easy. This is probably a silver medallion. Yep. And now we can pick up the silver medallion, and we can give it to this god statue. Okay. And so we're going to have to figure out a way to counterbalance that Naga as well. Alright, so we know that we can use this with you. Oh, but it doesn't... The silver necklace is laid... Okay. Hiding in the shadows, a statue watches over a room. A silver necklace is laid about her neck, but where the wrist should bear jewelry, there are only worn... So it's saying that both are necessary in this case, whereas with the bronze one, we only needed one to begin. So then the question is, how... Do we grab it from the... Oops. Okay. How do we grab it from the... Thank goodness. How do we grab it from the Naga without being locked in and shot? I can't seem to strip it away from the... There we are. I don't seem able to take it away from the previous god. Okay. The arrows, for the most part, are easier to dodge for me than the blades, because if you keep going, the arrows usually won't get you, it doesn't seem. Okay, so we're doing okay, I suppose. If I take this, it's not going to let me take the... Yeah, it's made of bronze. So it's not going to let me take the bronze from her. And I think when I take the Naga... Okay, so let's do this, then. We did learn the spell. I don't see any runes to indicate that. Let's save the game real quick. I didn't see any runes to indicate... There we are. I didn't see any runes to indicate magic, but obviously something is going on. So let's try just a quick spell for the fun of it. Not a quick spell, excuse me. Spell list, dispel magic, casts. Let's try it. I doubt very highly it has anything to do with it, but we'll try anyway. Nope. Okay, a stone with its fanged mouth open, dripping venom, a raised platform says demanding sacrifice. So it's not going to accept the... I'll give it back, sorry. Luckily didn't take any damage because I knew I needed to give it back, but it's not going to allow me to take it without demanding something in return. And I haven't yet seen anything that it would take in return. I thought it might take the bronze because I thought it might be kind of this Indiana Jones style waiting system. Waiting not as in to wait, but wait as in wait in general. What do we have here? Okay, so a closed door lying in shadow seals off the passway. So I'm assuming that this is the door that opens when we get the silver bangle to you. But there doesn't seem to be anything currently that I see as a counterbalance or counterweight. Aha! There we go. This one's a metal bracelet. Let's take the metal bracelet. How much health? Okay, I've got plenty. So the metal bracelet's probably not precious, I assume. Let's check it. A seemingly worthless bracelet made from cheap, flawed metal. The workmanship is rather crude. It's probably junk. But if it's counterweight... On the other side of things, let's assume that the god actually has great taste and understands the difference between silver and aluminum or aluminium, however you want to say it. Now we can try this again. So one of the things that this is one of the... Oh, sorry. One of the things that I've noticed about these games, this is a thing I always had issue with back in the day, was fixed camera angles. Were fixed camera angles, goodness sakes. And fixed camera angles were the bane of my existence because you would always, you'd want to see the entire area, and you can't see the entire area, you can't move the camera. And so in that case, I don't think, if I hadn't decided that it was probably an issue with a random cranny, I don't think I would have noticed that that was there. So let's see if the Naga accepts this instead. If I take... Oops. If I take this, but then it seals me in, but then I give it this... So the Naga, whatever the Naga deity is there, doesn't know a good sacrifice from a bad one. Okay, when you get hit, don't... Just point of order here. If you get hit by something that hurts you, don't stand in its path for longer. Get out of its path immediately. You won't go into shock that quickly. I can tell you that from experience. It hurts, and you'll move, but you'll move pretty quick. Even if your whatever has gotten stabbed has been stabbed deeply, you will get out of the way quick, I promise. Alright, that's fine. When the blades hit you, they don't seem to... once they've hit you, they kind of give up, and they're like, it's fine. Okay, so now we can use the silver bracelet with this god. It's an armband. I don't know what armbands in this context usually meant. I know in the Age of the Viking, usually times if you would have an armband like that, it was a promise of some sort, or a deal, a debt. It was also a show of wealth. So it could just be that here. Okay, this is the room for the torch for sure, but for the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to kill this guy. Or I'm going to re-dead this undead. There we are. The music became infinitely more ominous. Okay. I need him to continue to come over here for me. So the question that I have is, I'm wondering again if I'm going to run into the... I can't remember what his name was, but the one who was becoming undead. Equip. Only reason I say that is because he was afraid of the torch. And I'm wondering if he still potentially could be an ally. Can I light any of... That looks like a sconce. Can I... Nope. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's... We'll go ahead and use this. I haven't used it, and I've got ammo for it, so... Okay, I need to reload real quick while he's throwing a spell around. He has a rune. Okay, and then I need to kill this summoner, I guess I would call this thing. Oh, I hate when he does that too. I need to get the heck out of here. I got the rune. I just need to get out of here now. I can't really see very well without this torch, though. We actually know the torch could be a pretty decent weapon, so... Okay, I'm going to... Because I possess the rune, it dispelled. I think it feels like this should be like the red of this room should be heated. Okay, this also feels like a sanity thing. I want to see. Yeah, I thought so. It is.
This can't be happening.
Okay. Let's go here. Okay, the torch is actually pretty good here. Let's, let that happen, I guess. Oh, goodness. We'll go ahead and reclaim some of our health. And what did I choose to be the quick spell? Left or right? Right. We'll try and do that again. Hey, just finished stream. Hey, Fighting Max, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It was a nice stream. I got to interact for some of it, which was really nice, and then I didn't get to interact for some of it. I got to listen to it, which was really nice. Whew. Okay, the blades here are much harder to dodge. Okay, much harder to dodge. We have another god statue here. Doing good, how am I? I'm doing alright, thank you. Yeah, it was a fun stream to get to watch and get to participate in. Thank you for having me. I was talking about what my intention are, and I'll share it again. I was talking about what my intention were at the very beginning of this. So I want to play this through. I think I'm somewhere around the neighborhood of the halfway point, or just beyond the halfway point or so. So my intention is to try and pass this game, and then I have a game that I want to play. It's a very short game, but it's a game I've really wanted to play. I really wanted to play a point-and-click adventure game, and I was trying to think of what my favorite point-and-click. Let me pause this. What my favorite point-and-click adventure game was, and my favorite point-and-click adventure game is a horror game, and it's a very contentious game. Now, let me be very clear about this. It's not an intentionally offensive game. It's not got nudity or anything like that in it. But it talks about topics that on the internet and in real life, people have gone to censoring these words. I mean, not slurs, not things like that necessarily, but it covers a lot of subject matter that is very, very dark. It is a horror game. Technically, it's a puzzle horror game, point and click. It's mostly about what would happen. It's a take on post-apocalyptic humanity not heeding caution to the singularity. I think that's maybe a good way to say it. Anyway, the point being is, so I intend to finish this game, and then I intend to play that one, which was just very quick. And then after that, I do intend to go back to do all the DLC for A Hat in Time. So if you'll entertain my, if you're willing to, you don't have to, of course, but if you're willing to entertain a couple of the remaining of this horror game and the remainder of a very short horror game coming up that could probably be done in 2 episodes, I'd imagine. 2 to 3 at the very worst. Then I would think that we could get back to some more cheery stuff. So I'm excited for it. Yeah, Skyrim was fun. Good. Yeah, I was saying I worked in the video game industry back when Skyrim launched, and I remember just so much. There was so much buzz. Everybody was so excited about it. And that was back when video games would launch with good, like, you got the disc, but you also got like these cool maps. And Skyrim gave this really cool cloth map. If you got the collector's edition, you got this big statue of Alduin on rune-covered rocks. It was super cool, and it came with just all of this neat stuff. And then nowadays, it's a digital handout, and you might get a statue if you buy the extreme version of the game, but you won't get the game. You'll just get the digital code for it, and it's like, So Skyrim's great. Of course, I'm excited for it. But yeah, being excited for it. I want to do that again. I wanted to take a break. Horror is so cheery, funny, chipper is something I enjoy a lot of. Don't get me wrong. Horror is my wheelhouse. It's the world in which I live, and I love it. And so playing a horror game like this kind of had awakened, let's say, that's better grammar, this desire to play one of my favorites. And so I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is the name of the game. I want to be very clear ahead of time for anybody who might be made uncomfortable by sensitive subject matters. This is going to have them. It's the sequel, effectively, to one of my favorite short stories from one of my favorite authors. He wrote a book called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream in 1967. It's a short story. It's kind of rough. And then he decided, let's make a sequel. They worked in 1995 and made the game, or launched it in 95, called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream Again. Same characters from the short story, but it's a sequel, and it's basically an extension of torture, and it goes literally to the most illogical conclusion, the worst possible scenarios for each of these people that you can even begin to think of. But it's not spelled outrightly for you. It is somewhat subtle, and I'll probably be narrating what is to be extrapolated from that. But it does cover some really, really dark subject matter. So I want to be very, very clear that when I play that, I don't want anyone to be offended, but I think it's a game of redemption, but it does cover some really dark material. Arguably, I've seen very few games darker. But it's appropriately dark. I think ultimately it's a game of redemption, so. A statue of carved granite depicting a ceremonial temple guard. It appears to be keeping watch on a seated goddess in the corner of the room. So my guess is if I go and I mess with this goddess, that it might, if I took this bangle from this goddess, I imagine, then I would probably be, that the granite guard would probably come and try and hurt me. A statue of an unknown goddess seated in a classical pose. She appears to be carrying something valuable. Okay. When you first described what you would be playing, I thought you were alluding to Devotion. No. Oh, excuse me. Had to almost hiccup there. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't alluding to that. I can understand that. Definitely something that covers a horror game. I can understand that. It's just the Devotion is a, how do I want to say this? Devotion is a horror game. It's a psychological horror game, but it is a horror game, right? And it feels like a horror game. It feels like Layers of Fear, you know? It feels like a horror game. It's got these kind of cool, trippy things, for certain. It's not quite as old, of course. This game that I'm talking about, when I'm talking about, I'll be very clear. I'm not going to mince words about this. When I'm talking about covering subject material that is dark, I'm talking about it. You in this game, you go to their version of the Holocaust. That's one of the things that happens. There is cannibalism. There is literal, and I mean this literal, again, I'm not talking about, there's literal homophobia. It's not today when we kind of blanketed about people that disagree with the lifestyle. It's actual awful things happening. It covers a lot of dark subject matter. The reason I like the game so much, however, is because I've played No Mouth? Okay. All right. Yeah. A long time ago. Yeah, as I say, the reason that I have, the reason I've played, or the reason that I'm talking about, the reason I'm giving such a disclaimer is that is what I consider to be actual, legitimate, uncomfortable, there's just no way to dodge this, is there? Okay. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's a great game, and I think ultimately it's a game of redemption, and it's a game of warning, and it's a game that doesn't deny awful things that occur, and it doesn't even deny farther that the awful things that people can be. But I think it's ultimately more a game of redemption, and that's why I'm okay playing it. I just also don't want people to come on and see it and be like incredibly offended by it, because it's not something that's intended to be offensive. It is intended, I think, to look at dark problems and say, well, wait a minute, you know. So one of my favorites for that reason. But I also want to just be very clear. I understand where. Okay. There appears to be a hole in the wall, and it is large enough for a small dog to pass through. A small dog, I have none. What? Get out of the purple field. I'm glad I can't run. I didn't hit the switch. Okay. Yeah. Very, very good game. Again, very fun, very dark. Not intended to offend people, but at the same time... I remember the game being contentious in the 90s, where there were places that were... I mean, obviously, it was like... that's fine. It was like, well, this is really dark, and then it was... Uh-oh. It was, this is really dark, and in some places, I believe in Europe and other places, it was actually banned. It was never banned as far as I'm aware in the US. Parts of it were censored, rightfully so, I think. But yeah. There's a small basin or font situated beneath the statue. Beside that, an orb-shaped button sits on a panel of stone. Should he press... I don't think so yet. I imagine that I need to probably dispel the magic that's just here. So... I have no dog, and I must go in the holes. Yeah, that's yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that was the idea. I'm not playing anything or doing anything in intent to be offensive. But these are, I think it's a really good game. It's really fun. It's really dark. It does make us it does force us to face some of the darkness of our psyche for certain, and that's and make us look back at things that were awful. So I want to be very transparent. If you are uncomfortable by that stuff, I want to make sure that you're not, you understand that that's going to be what it is. For those who are, and if you're not, that's okay too. I mean, if you are uncomfortable and you don't want to show for those, I understand. No big deal. But I've been itching to play that game after a long time. An exquisite bracelet made of gold, designed to be worn around the wrist or ankle. It is embellished with inset gems and engravings. There's also a lot of subtext to that game. I also went on like a 2-mile walk today. Oh wow, you've accomplished a lot of really great stuff. Well, good. Sounds like it's been a really good day for you. I hope it has at least been. And you seem to have a pretty good amount of back and forth conversation on the stream, which was really nice. It was very nice to get to speak with, through my text and of course their voice too. Get to speak with the guest star that you had on. I believe you said she was I don't know what you said her relationship with you was. A friend, I assume, at least. But, very nice. I need to pay more attention to what I'm doing. Okay, spell list. We need to dispel magic. We need to cast. We need to do it with green, probably. Oh, I was going to say, did that break all of the spells? But it didn't. It only... seals, it only broke one. Okay, so now that we've broken that seal, let's do a little bit of investigating. Okay, let me poke this and see what it does. I had a co-host today. She's a great friend. I wouldn't have done it if she hadn't accepted my request to co-host. Oh, no, I thought it was really nice. It was a pleasure to get to speak with her, to be honest. So, very, very nice. So the basin fills. The water smells like strong acid, perhaps strong enough to dissolve metal or flesh if Lindsay isn't careful. Okay, so it smells like strong acid. Strong acid. For anybody who is unfamiliar, back when I was in... Yeah, I saw I saw him hit the trigger for that button. I mean, for that trap. It's right there. You can see them. You can't always avoid them. These light patches here are they. She's a great person. Been in her community for a year now. Very nice. She seemed very pleasant, if you don't mind my saying. Okay, so I need to assume this is probably for the gold. Yep, gold flecks. Hiding in the shadows, a statue watches over the room. Gold flecks of metal mar the statue's wrist and neck, possibly indicating that some kind of adornment used to be there, and indeed they did, because we certainly have one of said adornments. Yeah, I know she seemed really pleasant. Conversation was very nice. It was interesting to have... Okay. I can't have you activating stuff like that. Okay, what I can do is I can hit you... Uh-oh. No, I can't. There's a wall there. Please be out of my way. Don't please, just be out of my way. I'm not interested in your... Okay, this isn't doing the trick for these guys, so let's... I unequipped that. I went too quickly. Oh, they're gonna blow up. There we go. Or they were just gonna stand there. Okay. So in this case, we have to learn how to dispel all of these magics by using the appropriate... I'm gonna use some more magic to heal. She's also transgender, which is really nice. I don't... There was a comment that was made, I suppose, in the chat, which you had said, and this is my thing. I don't consider it a good or a bad. It's just who you are. If that's the way it goes within my schooling and my collegiate career and all this, oh, that's fine. Is in science, and so my thing is, if you want to tell me that you would like to be identified as a specific thing, I'm a specific way, I'm very happy to do that. I'm not here to cause a problem with it. It's not good or bad. It's just you. I'm not a fussy person. Now, try to mess with science, and I'll disagree on maybe science perspectives, but when it comes to identity, I don't care. There's no science to identity. You're just who you are, and you need to be happy. You don't live for me. You live for you. So, I thought I thought she was pleasant. All the other behind the scenes and all that doesn't matter. She was pleasant. I had a great conversation with her. I'm not one to make a comment about. I'm not one to really commentate beyond that. So, you say I don't know why I didn't explain it. It may not have felt like yours to explain. Sometimes explaining it to... So I have she's a dear friend of my wife. So far, so much more that I would even consider her a sister-in-law. Because my wife would consider her a sister, and she's a trans woman, and I knew her before that, and it's just like... There's no malice, there's no political agenda, it's just what she feels comfortable with. No problem. You start adding other stuff to it, start politicizing it or making people evil, or that's fine. But as far as the identity thing goes, now just be you, identify as you. I'm not going to cause you problems for it. I was talking about that comment. You're correct. Yes, I was saying that comment, the comment that was made in that. Yeah, no, I understand. And what I was getting at in that is that somebody making that comment might have prompted an explanation, but you may also not have felt like that was yours to explain. Or maybe you were comfortable. I don't know. I don't know the relationship well enough. It's not the thing about it is, I'm trying to be as polite as I can. I don't want to sound rude. Times are not complicated because people exist as they do. Times are complicated because everybody has to put a niche definition on said identification. That's just me. That's my... I don't think times are difficult because of this. I think people decide that they aren't going to get offended, and it's just... But it feels difficult to... When you have you kind of do have to be careful because you don't want to accidentally be rude. You don't want to accidentally speak for somebody who can speak for themselves, but at the same time, you also don't want to leave someone to linger and wonder if they were asking in genuine curiosity. I don't know. I could sit here and articulate it very well over the course of an hour, but I doubt very highly that that's worth any real investment when the simplicity is just be nice to people. I don't care how you identify. If you're a nice person and you're nice to me, and we're not talking about... ideologies. We're just talking about being friends and being people. I don't care. I'm fine. We can perfectly well be friends, I think. Alright, I have to pay more attention to what I'm doing. I think it was this. I think I was green. I think that would be red. Okay. Yeah, but no, you're all good. I just had fun being a part of the conversation, and she was very pleasant, so not quite sure what that is. Okay, well, I can look at it though. But yeah, I had fun at the stream. I thought it was fun. I thought the game was awesome. It's very difficult not to enjoy Skyrim, I think. I need to be running. Anyway, if what all of my prattlings were there just to make sense, it's basically it's very difficult to talk on those types of matters nowadays, so I understand. I don't think you did anyone any disservice. I think you were very nice about introducing and speaking and making it comfortable. I was going to see if I could use this magic field to my advantage, but it looks like I had used it instead to my... Oh, no, but he's green. I need to get the heck out of the way. Is that you done? Please say it is. Let's use this. I'm going to finish you, regain some of my sanity. It's a complicated subject, but I think just because my community members don't know her that well, that they would have some curiosity. That's the thing. I don't think it should be a complicated subject. Again, you have an opinion on this. I want to be very clear about this. I think it makes sense to be curious, obviously. I think that's fine, but I don't think it should be a complicated subject. This is my opinion. It's not a difficult opinion. If you want to identify as something, then you should do it. Now, does that mean I'm going to agree that this and that? Like, I know that there are people that like to identify as puppy dogs and things like that. Does that mean that I'm going to... They're very few and far between, but does that mean that I'm going to agree that you actually share DNA with Canis or feline? No, canine or feline. No, I'm probably not going to agree with that. I do have an education in science, right? But if you want to do that, that's your business, and that's fine. When it comes to transgenderism, though, to me, that's not that big of a deal. It's not like you come to me and, again, tell me the science of this and that and the other, and we may have a disagreement on the science, but if you want to identify as that, and that's what makes you feel good and comfortable, we can, like, that doesn't bother me. I don't care. So it's just, I don't think it needs to be all that complicated. I really don't. I think if you want to talk the science of it, that's one thing. If you want to talk identity in general, that's your business. And I don't think anybody should be rude to anybody for any reason, period. No, I think you're correct. I want to be very clear. I think you're correct in that complicated is what people see it to be. I just disagree that it's complicated. But I think you're right that the world believes it a complicated issue. I think if you have a difference of opinion, of course, I don't want to overwhelm that, but I personally, for me, it's a simple issue. If you come up to me and you shake my hand and we have a conversation and you're not heavy-handed about me doing this, that, and the other, and you're pleasant and, somehow organically in the conversation you let me know how you feel about a thing, we're going to talk and we're going to have fun and wherever the conversation goes is where the conversation goes. We're good. If you start agendizing it and start making it the entirety of your identity, and you start making it the center of every conversation we have, I might be a little tired about that. And if you decide you want to start talking about politics and the science of it,
Get away from me.
then I might be a little upset about stuff like that. But it's just, yeah. I believe people should just be who they want to be, as long as it doesn't harm anyone else. That's not. I would go a little farther. I agree with that general gist, of course. I think I'd go just a little bit farther when it comes to the harm part, because harming is such a broad spectrum. In my case, harm can be anything, right? There are people out there, and I'm going to say that they're very much the minority, I think, but that are trying to conflate aspects of what their identity is with science behind how that identity works. And I don't believe identity is a science thing. I think identity is a kind of an ethereal thing. Like, I can't touch identity, right? It's a plethora of all kinds of experiences outwardly and inwardly manifesting in a singular form. So because of it being an ethereal thing, I can't nail it down scientifically. I could nail it down to some key components. I could hypothesize on parts of you that are more impactful and less impactful, but I don't think that I could scientifically denotate specifically where somebody would be of a specific identity. But what I do know is I think that our identity is not just one thing. My identity is not just my relationships. It's not just my skill sets. It's not just my gender. It's all kinds of things, right? You might think of me as, and you might extrapolate different things. You might think of me as this guy, or you might think of me as intelligent or stupid, and you might think of me as well-spoken or an elegant. And those are all pieces that you may extrapolate, but they all can be extrapolated from me, and accurately so, because it's such an ethereal concept. When it comes to turning that into science, if you told me that a transgender woman had just given birth to a child, I would look and say, well, I don't think the science is there just yet, right? I know that that's something that people are working on. As far as I'm aware, the science isn't there just yet. I'd have to do more research into that. But if you tell me I identify as a transgender woman and I have a goal of someday working together with science to have a baby, I'd look at that and say, oh, cool. That's, yeah, neat. What won't science think of next, basically, just in the most positive light. I'm not a mean person. If that sounds mean, it's not. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm not a mean person. I'm gonna say I don't intend to be a mean person. If that sounds like an awful thing, please understand that it's meant in the most positive light that I can. But I just don't. I don't think it's that big of a problem as. I don't think it should be as big of a problem as it is. There's the way to say it. But she was pleasant. She was very pleasant, very nice, very well spoken, and I appreciated the conversation she was willing to afford me. So hopefully it's indicative of my intention. Hopefully my intentions are more indicative of my thought process than my inability to articulate in a concise format just here what my thoughts are. These thoughts are thoughts that have developed over the span of decades, and so therefore it's not easy to condense them all into a few minutes. And so if I speak inelegantly or out of turn, forgive that as my inability to concisely put that together. It's not my intention. That having been said, Dispel Magic. What color was the rune on this? Oh, that wasn't right. Yeah, that wasn't the correct one. That is red, therefore blue. There we go. Okay, so the entirety of it's dispelled, and yet I still have no indicator as to what might be done with it. But anyway, I hope not to have caused anyone any issue there, or have spoken inelegantly, or made anyone upset. It wasn't my intention, of course, as oft it isn't. Dirt encrusted necklace hidden behind. Suppose I'll take it. Can I mix the? Can I further mix? No, I can't. This necklace is encrusted with cysts of corroded metal upon its surface. It's difficult to tell what it looks like. Perhaps it can be cleaned somehow. It could probably be cleaned in the acid that I had experienced back in the first room. Oh, I wish this were real, but it's a sanity effect. There would in no way be a littered... I'm gonna pick them all up, but nothing will have happened. Yeah, see? That's such a disappointment. Of course, I think your take on it is very reasonable and intelligent, and you aren't being disrespectful at all. It isn't my intention to be. I just don't... I don't think it's a complicated issue. Or I don't think it has to be. Maybe it is. But I don't think it necessarily has to be. But at the end of it all, I just don't see any point in causing unnecessary drama about it. I just don't see any point in it. Okay, I have I need... Okay, I can't see. Okay, I'm back. Welcome back. It isn't... I don't see any reason to cause unnecessary drama about it. I think it's... Okay. I think it's difficult to speak on these things these days, but I want to be without attempting to be impolite, of course. I want to try as best as I can to not censor myself. Yeah, welcome back. I want to try not to censor myself because I don't feel like... I feel like if I have to... So how do I say this? We live in an age where I think censoriousness has become a norm. And I think that when I think the idea is when you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all is a fine... You know, it's fine in theory. But in practice, it can become... When things can potentially be offensive all the time, then everybody's completely quiet all the time. And I think that's the part that I have an issue with. I don't mind speaking about contentious topics and dangerous topics. Retro, if you told everyone this is your last ever stream, I'll miss you, man. No, this isn't my last ever stream. I've given everybody what my plan is moving for the next few episodes now. But no, it's not my last ever stream. At least I hope it's not. As far as I know, it's not. If I walk out tomorrow and something happens to me, then that'll be what it is. But I don't think it is. God's willing, it won't happen to me, right? But we'll see. But anyway, I feel like that it's necessary. I feel like that what we've done is we've taken, again, talking about illogical conclusions. I think we've taken. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all, too far. Because I think what happened is that we didn't shift the goalposts collectively as humans, by the way, not just you and I or any sort of partisanship in any kind. I'm not creating apartheid. I think humanity's done this. And I think what humanity's done is they've said, well, we can't shift the goalposts of what where people can or can't say anything at all without shifting the goalposts of what is or isn't considered nice. And so what started happening is people became more and more offended at more and more things, which means that more and more things weren't considered nice. And therefore, the don't say anything was a more frequent occurrence. And I don't think we should say mean things intentionally, but I also think that if we want to have a discussion over contentious topics, that the only way forward is to have an interlocutor who is willing to say things candidly without offense intended, so that we can get to the bottom of what the truth of that matter might be and how we should react. And that's why I don't mind speaking about that. I don't want to offend anybody, so I apologize if I do, but also it's well thought out and I can explain exactly why I believe what I believe in that. That's the best way I can say it. It's cool watching you as a fun streamer, but we'll all miss you. Luckily, I'm still here with my superior streaming skills, so I'll be okay. But it's still sad, sure. I'm offended that I haven't offended you. It's always the goal, right? But that's me. Again, I'm not trying to be rude. So let's go ahead and push this. We know it's acid. With the growth of the internet, more changes than ever. It's hard for some people to accept. Okay. Okay, I didn't put it in time. I didn't realize I needed to do that, so let's try that one more time. With the growth of the internet, more changes than ever, it's hard for some people to accept change, in my opinion. Yeah, of course. I agree. What are we talking about? Have you told your viewers that you're into satanic? Gold necklace. I'm just going to pick it up, and the acid is going to completely have been gone without any sort of hazard wash. Side note, if that is acid strong enough to have taken all of that metal off, it's probably hydrochloric or hydrofluoric, and it would definitely not be able to just be picked right back up after that. I would not recommend doing that. Satanic. That's an interesting way to word things. Everybody always says satanic. Satan is Hebrew, right? I'm going to step on one anyway, right? Satan is Hebrew, I believe, for opponent or opposer. So I guess technically anybody who disagrees with something, okay, that was the hole that it was in, I just missed it, will always be into something that is satanic, because there will always be two sides to an argument, at least I think. A small dog to pass through. But I have no dog. Okay, so I've dispelled. Okay, so let's go ahead and save. I've dispelled the 744. I've dispelled the spell that was holding it, but I haven't found a way to. Oh, the gold medallion. Hold on. Gold necklace. I have to remember where the hole that I had put the gold on the god. What are we talking about? So back when I visited Retro and his wife, I ended up in a pot saying they sang demonic chants. Luckily, I got out due to my intelligence and pure man skills. That's funny. What would be the language? Well, they say that the language of, and of course this is based on fiction, but they say that the language of, they say that the, well, I that was a little, okay. I need to quickly use this before I lose all health, and I hope that you will gift me a small dog, please. Okay, no. Okay, I'm gonna assume that this is going to be a room with bad guys in it. Yep, I hear footsteps. Torch might be nice. 1 second and I will follow up with the chat, I'm so sorry. Oh no, it's more you guys. I need this for you. I need also to be out of the way. Okay. Triggered him to blow up. Uh-oh. And shotgun for this guy. Mix with shotgun shells that I have. Oh, I can't load a weapon that isn't equipped. Well, let's equip it, then we'll mix it with the shotgun shells. I need you to mix... Lindsay, you're a doctor. You have an Atrionoc coming at you. Nope, that's fine. Okay, the shotgun does great damage to these Atrionocs or Atrionocs. So I am going to reclaim as much sanity as I can from it. Wish I wouldn't have done it with the shotgun and would have instead paid attention. Okay, that's fine. Let me catch up. We're talking about how my friend is transgender, and I'm curious comment somebody else made about her voice with no harm intended towards her, and how more things are considered offensive to talk about. Yeah. Satan comes from the Old English meaning devil man, evil man back in the 60s. Quite a new phrase. Not a lot of people. I'm pretty sure it's Hebrew or Aramaic. I'm fairly certain Hebrew, actually, Satan, and I believe it means opponent or opposition. I'm glad that we're able to have a respectful, intelligent conversation about this. That's the idea of this. Like, I don't think it's a good idea for. I don't think there's any room where it's a good. Okay, how do I want to be? The retro room is a room, and the room is able. You can speak in the room, obviously. If you're coming in and you're speaking without any sort of proof or evidence, you're just opinions and you're yelling ad hominem, I'm not interested. But if you want to debate with me, or we want to talk about contentious topics, and you want to assert what your belief is on that topic, and I can explain. I mean, sure, I can explain why I agree or disagree, or I can articulate further. I think that's ideal. So that's where. If conversation dies and if debate dies, so does progress. Me and Retro are always respectful. We haven't murdered anyone for their beliefs since 1982. Well, you know, there was a one-off in like 93-ish or something like that, but you know. It's a great part of the streams, being able to talk to him about things, since he's very knowledgeable, uncensored, and respectful about these topics. Well, I appreciate that. I try very much to be... Gavin is being a booger. I am trying very much... I try very much... I very much believe in... How do I want to say this? I believe in speaking openly about things, even if they're difficult, especially if they're difficult. But I also feel like that's necessary because we don't do that anymore. I have to start recognizing which ones of those are that. Okay. That shouldn't have gotten me. I remember that guy from 1980. He thought Americans were superior.
Don't let him get me. Oh, help me.
Your sanity's not that low, bud. Okay. Okay, this looks ominous. A burning face. We do have... Oh, it's a big burning face. We do have our archaeologist's brush, and I can't use it anyway.
This can't be happening.
Oh! Oh, I assume... Okay, I thought that the face was just naturally really big. Okay. There we go. And we have a new rune, which we already have that rune. So now we should know what it is. I think we already have that rune. So I've been playing Concord, the new character-based shooter from Sony. I haven't heard of it yet. In all seriousness, I'm really glad to have discovered this channel and being able to talk to you. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure getting to speak with you as well. So I very much appreciate that. Again, this isn't supposed to be a room for fame. It's just for us to share a common interest and catharsis through video games, and then get to talk candidly. I don't think a lot of that exists very much anymore. I believe it's mostly unfairly judged. I believe it's the most unfairly judged game ever made. The disingenuousness surrounding it is insane. Oh, I hope that's fun. I'm not a fan of the character designs at all, but the gameplay is great. I'll have to take a look at it. I don't think I've actually messed with it at all. In truth, I don't know that I'm aware of it at all, too. The eroded mural appears to depict the arrival of a strange godlike entity before an ancient human tribe. Lindsay cannot recognize the god in the mural. He is mystified. So, I wonder if it's Chaturga. I don't have these conversations with anyone else, really. Well, I appreciate that you trust me enough to have such sensitive conversations, or trust at least in my conversation. I obviously think that's very, very much a compliment. So I very much appreciate it. So in the wooden room, a little easier to try and at least see about avoiding these switches. Operative word was try. Didn't want to walk any faster than that, huh? Okay, we gotta get. The minute the poison hits, that's when everything goes bad. Uh-oh. Hold on, I have an idea. Hold on, guys. I need you to wait for me. The poison short circuits my... I need you guys to be out of the way. Okay, so now I have enough sanity to perhaps survive. 1 second. But no, I think it's a huge compliment, and I appreciate it very much that you would trust me trust me enough to be able to speak on contentious topics like this. Again, the intent is never to offend anybody, even if what I'm saying may come across as I disagree, or I don't mean disagreements in a disrespectful manner, but that's the thing is, I don't think anyone should, and I think it has, that disagreement be conflated with offense. Somebody disagreeing with your opinion on something isn't offensive. It's opinion for that reason. And so if you tell me I disagree with your opinion, Ash and I have had disagreements, and they were never bad disagreements, and I don't think any disrespect. Again, same situation with other members of the channel here or other people that have been a part of this channel here. It's just nice. It's just nice. Oh yeah, we disagree on quite a few things. Obviously, I'm correct, but so we do actually disagree. We found things that we disagree on, and they're fine. We disagree on The Witcher 3. We disagree on Gerard Khalil. We disagree on well, I think those are the main two that we've had, but even still, it's like I didn't look at him and go, oh, you're ridiculous if you think that. I was like, oh, I get where you're coming from. I just took a different approach. Like, that's all it is. I think it's fine. So the reason I think a podcast is a good idea, but I don't want to bother Retro about it. You're not going to bother me. I think a podcast would be fun too. We have, again, something is in the works, and I've been working with a bunch of there's a bunch of stuff going on right now, so don't feel bad about that. I just have to figure out how everything will lay out before I can jump into it, because I don't want to jump into it haphazardly. Of course, with me mentioning it goes against that point. That's all right. I see where you come from on your identity not aligning with the science opinion. Well, and that's my thing. Like, if you want to identify something, your identity isn't science. Again, your identity is ethereal. Your identity is something that I can't make for you, and science doesn't make for you. But if you want to tell me that because of your identity, you can do things that science says are impossible, a good example of this would be a group of people that I think identify as what they call otherkin. If you want to tell me you identify as a wolf, that's your business, okay? But if you want to tell me that you identify as a wolf because you had a cousin who was, or a great ancestor who was a wolf, we know that humans don't contain a lot of similarity in their DNA with canine, all right? We do with simian, but we don't with canine. So it's not likely that you actually have any scientific backing for feeling like a wolf. It's just that you want to identify that way. That's your business. That's where I get at. Like, that's what I get at. It's not. I don't think it's difficult. I don't. But people that identify that way obviously will see it differently, and people that are friends of people that identify will see it different. So that's the kind of thing. RE4 is my favorite game of all time. If you don't like it, I don't care. It doesn't offend me. That's true. I love RE4. It's not my favorite Resident Evil. And that's a crazy thing to say, because it's a great Resident Evil. Not my favorite. My favorite is 8, now that I've played it, because I feel like it plays tighter even than the remake of RE4. But RE4 is amazing. But we're not, we're not lesser friends because of that, you know? Crazy how people are offended by things as basic as that. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Retro is contractually obligated to start 25 podcasts with me. That's funny. I think you think more. I see that you think more logically. And that's the idea. Identifies. Well, yeah, there are people that do, and my thing is, that's your business. I'm not going to disagree with how you want to be identified, right? I can't. Like, it's the same. It's a different principle, obviously, but it's the same as an honorific. It's similar. Let's not say the same. That's conflation. It's similar to an honorific, right? If I have my doctorate and I want to be called doctor versus Mister, then I can ask for that, right? or if I have a stage name that's Doctor, whatever people have, like, you can identify and have those names. We have Dr. Dre. I don't believe he actually has a doctorate, right? Shaquille O'Neal, who's known as Shaquille O'Neal, does have a doctorate. I believe he's an honorary doctorate in sports medicine or something. Not sports medicine, sports something. I can't remember what it is, but basically from athletics, because he's shown applied skill for so long. But nobody calls him Dr. O'Neal, right? He's Shaquille O'Neal. There are differences there, right? You chose to identify with a doctorate more than you chose to identify as the basketball player or vice versa. That's fine. But don't give me the science behind it if there isn't any science behind it. I don't want that part of it. That's fine. People see that identification as being crazy, but they don't explain why they think, because, people see that identification as them being crazy, but they don't explain why they think that, because they think it's common sense why they are. Well, the thing about it is, I think people I think it's difficult. Is his doctorate in education? I thought it was in like in applied athletics, in human resource development. Okay, well, I didn't realize that at all. I was way off. I thought he had been given an honorary doctorate for like athletics in some form of athletics because of his applied. You can get an honorary. So effectively, if you're well enough recognized, especially if you're considered one of the best in the world, you can be granted an honorary doctorate from a college or secondary, whatever education, because you've shown a proficiency in it to a level above and beyond what, so knowing all of the specific ins and outs from the book learning isn't going to be more than the experience that you've demonstrated at being a part of it. So, but my point is, you can identify with one more than the other. He doesn't go by Dr. O'Neal, he goes by Shaquille O'Neal. The issue I have with the people is they try and change the way I speak and think. It's not working. You do you, but don't have a go at me if I don't agree with your belief. And that's also fine. That's also a thing. If somebody does, it's fine to ask, hey, do you want to call me this? And it's fine for them to say no. And it's fine for you guys to just choose to end the conversation there and be like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, people see. So going back to the other one, people see that as identification as them being crazy, but they don't explain why they think that, because it's common sense. So, and I think it's good to articulate that too. I also don't think it's a good idea. In any case, it doesn't matter how extreme it is. I don't think it's a good idea to jump after somebody and go, "You're crazy," right? If somebody comes to me and tells me I identify as a wolf, I'm going to be like, well, I want to probe a little bit. What makes you feel like that? Why do you identify that way? And then you tell, now if you tell, well, I just always felt like this, or felt like, what does that feel like? I want to know more about it. If you start going into, well, I had a grandfather who was a gray wolf, I had a spirit vision, I'm going to look at that and go, okay, you had a spirit vision. I'm not denying the validity of what you experienced there. I can deny the validity of having had a DNA tie to that animal. I can deny that because I can prove the opposite. I can prove that isn't the case. But I can't deny the validity of how you felt during that spirit walk or whatever religious experience you just had. Like, that was impactful to you. But I can deny that there is science behind that your grandfather was a wolf, right? I've lost track of what room I came from and what room I went into. So let's see. A dilapidated mural depicts the ancient Khmer people. Khmer people coexisting with some kind of fertility god. They offer sacrifice to the beast and in return are showered with benevolence, good crops, and hunting. Oh, very nice. I believe some people are genuinely insane when we're allowing insanity to just be without any professional help, because people act like you're not allowed to say anything nowadays. I think that's right. I think we definitely have gotten more. I think that there are probably people that are. Can't see. I think there are probably people that should. Is this the room I just came from? I don't think. I think that there are definitely people who have mental hiccups to work through for certain, and I believe that we are probably doing that. Yeah. But I also can't say that because I am sadly not a professional in that field. But I wish I wouldn't have hit that. Okay, the gas dispels. Okay, and this is where I came from, but I can cast some spells here. Yeah, you're right, I did. That's all right. Let me,
What is
Let me heal up a little bit. I think people should. I think people should attempt to gain more information and treat them with more respect instead of just going. I agree with that, and I think that it should be done both ways, right? I think that it should be done. I think people should look at it and say, okay, I feel this way because X, Y, Z, and you don't need to be mean to me about that, sure. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, if somebody says, well, I don't want to do this, that, or the other because I don't feel comfortable with it, even though I know you asked politely, so I'm going to politely decline. I think that's probably fine too. Again, personally. That was oof. Okay. Worst thing to do is what I just about did there in panic. It wasn't awful. I'll be respectful to someone if they're respectful to me. That's how I've always been. That's fair. That is the nature of a transaction. People on the internet pretend like they're professionals on people's identity. Well, that's yeah. I mean, what was it that? Let's see. That applies to every topic. To be fair, everybody's a professional on everything. The thing. Yeah. So that's exactly what I would say. Is none of us are professional. Okay, let's not be wrong. I am a professional. That's not my profession. Okay? And the truth be told is that's likely to be the case for most people. Okay, it's just not gonna
No, what are you? Oh, get away from me.
You're fine. Okay, that little cubby has nothing. Why did you swing? My fingers, I want to be very clear. My fingers are not on the A or B button at all. They are resting very, very delicately on the handle. The far part of the handle where the palm would be, and yet he took a swing. Whoops! Always a little bit of a... What is it? Again, American Dad? I just about picked myself a whole bushel of oopsie daisies. No, you come over here too. I think you can... Can I not hit you with this torch? Okay, thank you. Goodness. And I have the letter F. By the way, that rune is actually the letter F in Elder Futhark. If the bottom part right there is actually connected to the stem, that is actually the letter F. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. That's the letter A. Letter F is both of those pointed up. My apologies. I'm a professional. Of course, respect is always a two-way street. Sure. I think your whole gender discussion nowadays can be crazy. Case by case, of course. I thought it was a 1. Yeah, it looks kind of looks like a -1, doesn't it? That rune is can be a real rune. I like it's green here. Okay, let's do some recovering. Regaining sanity doesn't seem to take a ton of magic, or at least it doesn't take as much as health. But you do get a lot of health back too. There we go. Yeah, I just, like I said, I don't think it's, I personally don't think it's a very complicated thing. I think it's pretty simple. I think you have to break it down. I think you have to articulate, but I don't think it's honestly all that complicated beyond that. Again, personal belief. Very, very difficult to sometimes just run through those things. Okay. I think these are the blue guys that blow up. There's a thing I need right there too, huh? We don't necessarily need the torch because we've got a big, nice, fiery brazier there. Okay. Nope. Let me go. I need to get one of you guys to detonate. I tell you right off the bat, if I were in this real situation and you started hugging on me like that, ooh, this blade would be in some places you didn't want it. Alright, I need to get out of the way. The explosion's gonna be bigger if I can't get the heck out of the way. What the heck happened? Lindsay has perished at the hands of eternal darkness. With no one to stop their diabolical plans, humanity will surely be annihilated. What happened? Like, I got onto the... I went to the farthest corner I could find because I figured that they would make a bigger one, but my goodness. Let's try this again. 8 and 12. I don't think... despite my obsession with saving it, I don't know exactly where I saved it. I'm planning on getting a GameCube for my birthday because it's one of the retro Nintendo consoles my family doesn't own. Oh, it is a great console for sure. He's alive and then he died. Could have put up shield orbs. I could have. I didn't think of that. Now how far back am I? Oh, sheesh. My obsession with saving and I failed. Okay. Okay, so I know which room I'm in at least now. Oof. Though. I thought you were a smart person. Well, that's not a fair thing to say. How would you think I was a smart person? For what reason would you believe I was intelligent? That puts a lot of undue pressure on me, man. There's a door there. That's the thing I can't get through. The downside of it is, for at least me, when it turns everything green, it obscures the switches. You failed us all. I also want to get Smash Brothers Melee because because my friend plays it. That'd be good. Max bet £200,000 on you surviving and you let him down. I hope he didn't have £200,000 down on that. That'd be... I would definitely not feel good about that. Activate them all, why don't you? Okay, that time I actually did hit A accidentally. There we are. Viddy's log, stardate unknown. It would appear that while making breakfast, my toaster zapped me to an unknown time period where some random individual known as the Retro Room is playing. Eternal darkness. There's a chat sidebar of other people talking, hoping to balance his sanity. And I'm here trying to figure all this out. Very nice. And good morning to you, by the way. Okay, so luckily we know, I believe, that we can use a torch on these first few guys that are going to pop up. We can't. They're the blue guys. Okay, now I can go way up here. Get my health back. Didn't let me down. I took the other end of that bet. Yeah, you weren't wrong. I conveniently converted it before this stream. Well, what a lucky thing, and very wise to have done. Also, probably not the wisest to have bet on me. You darn kids, stay off the line. Okay, now the mistake I made last time was that when I reclaimed my sanity from him, I did so while at the expense, or I did so at the expense of a shotgun shell. But if I do this, Viddy toast question. Hi Viddy, hope your toast is delicious. Do you remember when we played the Oregon Trail and Viddy stole Mars bar? It caused me to die. I don't remember him. I remember the playthrough, and I like that playthrough quite a lot, but I don't necessarily know if I remember that specific thing happening. This game is about delicious toast. How burnt is your toast? I burned all of Viddy's toast because I lost it. That's what happened. I was just upset, therefore I went and burned the toast. There's no way around.
No, what do you... No, get away from me.
What do you mean, get away from me? That stone already hit you. Okay, sanity effect here. Different sanity effect this time. This time I'm falling to pieces, right?
This can't be happening.
Luckily, you didn't have to be super surprised because I told you the sanity effect was coming. Or unluckily, if you were really looking forward to that sanity effect. I like now knowing that they do them at random, though. I think that's kind of a neat thing. My toast is burnt. This isn't really happening. That's funny. I wonder who the first person to make toast. Legend. So I don't know if you've ever seen toasters back from the 1900s. Really cool looking little things. Basically just superheated metal externally would actually show the bread, the toasted bread in it. And then you would push a button and it would flip the whole thing around. And it would toast that side as well. Very, very cool. The thing about it is this is going to bring me to another topic that I'm passionate about. If you buy stuff from like the early 1900s, it came before planned obsolescence. You find some really cool stuff. And toasters are one of them, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Get away from me, man, because he flashbacks when I met my girlfriend. Oh no. A legend that led to a talkie toaster in Red Dwarf who doesn't shut up and about making grilled bread products to members of the crew. I think you can pick up your arm. Oh, I wish I would have seen that on time. I'm sorry. That would be interesting to have done. I wish I would have done it. Fun fact, Viddy was the first person to make toast, but Retro was the first to eat it. I don't usually have bread products. I'm mostly a meat eater. I think I've said that much on here. I am almost entirely carnivore. Not quite entirely, but pretty darn close. Okay. So the hit switches on these guys are kind of wonky because I have no idea. I can see where they are. You can clearly see I've stepped on some and they haven't targeted. Nope, we're not having any of that. I snuck up on you, I missed, that's my fault. There we go. Okay. My arm is trying. Fun fact, Viddy is the first Australian of all time. That's it. That's the very first. I've already made an arm pun with a guest commentator played Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom on my secondary channel on Viddy Plays, yeah. But he's the only Australian person in the world. Yeah, that's I had thought Australia was just like most people. I had thought that Australia was a myth until Viddy came along. And then I realized that save for him it would have been. I'm teasing. I was like, a continent that's also a country? That's ridiculous. A single continent that's also a single country. I should stipulate. North America is a continent. It just houses 3 countries. These little red beef jerky guys are very tenacious. By the way, beef jerky lovers, don't buy jerky that looks like this. If it looks like Jack Link's like this, don't do that. It's not good. Okay, yeah. I was thinking about using the pistol, but I'm pretty sure that I was able to fend him off with just this machete. Ah! I couldn't get out in time. Nope. That's not what I was wanting. There we go. Let's see. Well, to be fair, I have a bit less bread overall these days. Same for pasta because of the carbs. It's not the carbs that bother me. My stomach doesn't take very well to most things. I need iron. That's one of the things that I really have to have. And iron is very easy to get in red meat. It's somewhat easy to get in spinach. It's much, much easier to get in red meat. I eat white meat more than red meat, of course, but red meat is much more iron dense. Which is, again, something I really need, so just try to... Nope, not even. Come on, Doc. Oh, that was what we wanted. I needed you to run, but whatever. I was holding the left trigger and everything, and you were like, nah, it's fine. These walls probably aren't that heavy. They're only made of solid stone. Truthfully, though, they couldn't have been... Whoops. They couldn't have been that heavy because, they would have absolutely obliterated me. Also, they have to slide. What's beef jerky? Beef jerky is dried meat. Retro, ban him? Hold on, I have to see what he said. I'm not gonna ban him, but I just have to see what he said. For fun fact, Ash's fun facts are not as fun as my fun facts. Nice. I'm not sure. I don't know if they call it something different over there, but beef jerky is dried meat, dried beef. It is a staple of... It was a staple of the American diet, especially when we traveled. Now it's kind of become less of a staple, but it's actually really good. And the best jerky should never be red or Jack Linksy. Like, they always want it to be soft and wet, and no. It needs to be dry and salty. Try me, I'll make facts that are so fun you'll have the worst case of serotonin syndrome. I like pie. I like beef jerky. Ah, kittens inspired by kittens. I love that. Retro can't eat food. I believe he's an AI. I can't eat most food. That's true. Isn't the spinach thing a myth? You can get good iron. You do get good iron from spinach. That, as far as getting as much as they say you get, like as much as... There were people that were saying that you could basically eat spinach instead of eating red meat as a vegetarian diet, and they found out that you would have to eat so much spinach that it would actually start to turn parts of you green in order to get a lot of that, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, I believe spinach is still supposed to be pretty iron. I think it's still supposed to be decently iron dense. But yeah, I could be wrong. Let me see. Speaking of red meat, lamb casserole for dinner today. Ooh, that sounds great. That sounds really, really good. So, I thought the food scientist century would put it in. He put it in the wrong place. It's not a super iron. It's not like a super iron thing, but it's so cruciferous vegetables are supposed to be really good for you, and so because of that, you're still getting a pretty good amount of iron. The amount of so for how not dense it is, you're still getting a really good amount of iron pound for pound, so to speak. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not as iron dense as they told you, but it is still pretty iron dense. It's about as iron dense as most of your cruciferous vegetables would be. Maybe it's slightly more than that, But again, I could be wrong. Nothing like a good concussion. Yeah, no kidding. I should have been caved in. But yeah. The way that I understood it is that the way I understand it is it's as good as a cruciferous vegetable. So I could be wrong again. But you're not going to ban him? I've been your loyal viewer for years. I didn't turn on anybody. Beef jerky is an HP replenishment in Earthbound. Oh yeah, that's true. I read that wrong. Have you ever ate meat from a wall? It's all right. Yeah, I had a pork chop from a brick wall once. You're a mod. You do it. That's funny. That's true, technically, actually. As of yesterday, Earthbound is 30 years old. That's insane. It's such a fun game. I have a my cartridge is right up here. Unless Retro doesn't pay you enough for it. Eating cooking with Retro Room. Coming to you. I wish. I'm not as gifted in the culinary arts, perhaps, as I would need to be in order for that to happen. But I don't ask for money. I don't ask for money from Retro, as I'm a real friend. Other mods always pay. I think I've asked for. You haven't asked me to stream Earthbound. We're also going to save the game because this is where I died last time. No, because the darkness is coming. Oh. Nope. No, we're just gonna do better, I guess. Oh, this isn't the same room. This is the room before. We're fine. In that case, the torch should be okay. There we go. Stream Fortnite. That darkness is eternal. Yep, this is this is episode 3 of a Sideways Tilted 8 episodic series rather. Okay, I have to remember again. Fixed camera angles. Okay, cool. No. His name is the Retro Room, but he goes by the nickname Streamer. Got it. I mean, you know, I don't really care what I'm called for the most part. I prefer a pseudonym, obviously, but what the pseudonym is. It wouldn't be a very good, in my opinion. I wouldn't be a very good conversational or someone who believes in speaking. You can't do it in any of these rooms, I assume. I wouldn't be someone very good about asking for candor when you speak. If I couldn't myself take a little bit of the being willing to be called pretty well whatever. With exception, of course, because again, I prefer a pseudonym. I think everybody should endeavor to stay as safe as they possibly can online and not offer up real information. All right. Okay, so this looks to be that room, and I don't think I can save in any of these trap rooms, even if I'm safe in the middle of one. So, because I can't, let's heal up as much as I can, and then I'm going to try to kill them by the door, because I don't know if I can cast the spell quickly. I mean, I'm sure I probably can while they charge up, but I'll try to see if I can get them to detonate, move into this room, and then they'll detonate while I'm in there. Ideally. A scroll of paper sits upon the ledge, circling the dies at the corner of, or at the center of the room. Okay. Summon Trapper. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't like those little things. Okay, come on. Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in here while you guys do your thing. Okay, he's out of breath, but he's... And they may feel better after this instead of that same. Fortnite with a T. Let's see. Victory Royale, Get Down, just wiped out, Tomato Town, forgot the lyrics. I don't even know what that is. What is your favorite Fortnite streamer? Soggy Biscuit here, back with another video to get today. I don't know anything about that, I promise. I subscribed to Soggy Biscuit before he was popular. I don't even know who Soggy Biscuit is. What Retro is trying to say is he doesn't trust any of us, so he wouldn't show his face or real name. It's not true, but I also think that you should always measure... I think you definitely should always... Oh! I got it. Let's see. Hold on, I gotta catch up here. Well, I didn't show my face for a very long time until roughly 2021. Doesn't give away correct number. Very nice. Can't believe he doesn't like us enough to give away his social security. I know Retro's name and Viddy's. Very nice. Yeah, I'm not saying that I don't trust you. Okay, they all feel better, I guess. Let's just look around real quick. They don't all feel better. They died. He's just there. Yeah. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. We'll go back to that. One or two people seem to know my name online. They actually paid attention to my Zelda Oracle stream. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to just try. Again, anonymity is your friend online. Not that I don't like or trust anybody here necessarily. It's just... It feels... It's something. I think you should exercise caution. That's the biggest thing I can say. So, I would say keep as much anonymity as you can. Attempt to tell nobody, or attempt to tell, to tell nobody anything. And, attempt to tell nobody anything, and, you know, you can have conversations without having to, like, again, we were talking about identity, like, I call myself the Retro Room. I'm clearly not a room, right? This is a room, of course, but I'm not, and, retro is a very generic term for, I like to believe, pleasantly older, let's say. That which inspires nostalgia. Come on. Little clunky with the big room. That's my fault. Let's see. My real name is Merriweather Buttersworth II. It was supposed to be a secret. Banjo the Wizard's real name is clearly that they have it, is what they have it as online. And Retro's real name is Streamer. You got it. Streamer Steel. People don't call me that. Because it's not my name most of the time. What is this? Okay. There we go. The whole room materialized with a face and arms and digits to play. That's what it is. I am actually a house. Retro is a room confirmed. I probably shouldn't have put my real name and profession online. Your profession, I don't think necessarily is as big of a deal. I don't have any problems with people knowing what my profession is. But I usually try to avoid giving my real name. There are people who know my real name here. I know that. But to be fair also, that in those cases it's probably not because of just random being randomly like cavalier with things. It's more likely about being Either it having accidentally been leaked because my wife decided to say it and it was heard, or I had it on my channel prior, or something like that, you know. But before I understood the necessity of pseudonyms. Okay, this guy's stamina is absolutely abysmal. I think it was this way. He is the retro room. Does Retro have a retro room in his retro house? I do, actually. That the retro room is not me. Obviously, that's the channel. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Just go ahead and hit that switch real quick. The retro room is actually the room that I'm in. It's what we named the room that I'm in. Now, something a small dog could fit through. With the hint from Banjo the Wizard, I assume that I am to summon a trapper. I don't guess it matters what alignment the trapper is. Press A to trap an enemy when it is targeted using R. Okay. Press X to release, or press whatever the... No, what is that button? Press that button, whatever it is, to release control of trappers. Trappers cannot open doors nor pick up items. What'd you do? Get scared and come back? The purple rune. There's also something to be examined there. I wonder... Can I trap these big guys and then come in here myself, or no? My little trapper guy's kind of cute. Alright, fine. Yeah, I just said the retro room is actually the name of the room that I'm in right now. It's a room that I had made specifically for... Corner shrouded with dense cloud casted, perhaps even hiding something. Okay, so I will be able to come into this room as my character, at least at some point. But I can't seem to target this. Okay. Secreted in the alcove, a rune awaits. Its energy is slightly corroding the air about it. Oh. We'll certainly take that. Okay, that's kind of about what I figured was going to happen. Three shots and you're down. Could use a reload, Doc. Let's reclaim some sanity from him real quick. I'll catch up. I'm sorry. Just not quite away. Why'd you tell him where you live? You live... I put him in a state of stairs. Start button. So that was the start button. What? Okay. It seemed like it's a weird... You didn't have a button, so... It's the JQXS, the XZ button. That's the thing. It always reminds me of Metalocalypse, where Squizgar and the team are playing Scrabble, I think it is, and he's, you know, is this a word? K-I-C-K? And then Toki comes in. Oh yes, Quizix, it's what the duck says. And you're like, no, it isn't. I love those guys. His whole life goal was to eat toast and to find out your home address, and you've just made his dreams come true. Well, anytime soon the toaster may zap me back to normal time period and the whole stream would have been a dream, but are the dreamers inside the dream? We're all a figment of your imagination. What if we're all dreaming? That's a good, a lot of people have that kind of question of whether or not reality is that which occurs while you sleep or that which occurs when you are not. Yeah, I can't. Because I was... Nope. I did not push that on the D-pad also. What is... Maybe I need to change controllers, because I didn't push the D-pad at all at that time. This rune is the only optional one for game completion. I'm glad to have found it, though, because if I'm not mistaken, it's... all three of them are kind of weak to it. Okay, so... Lindsay spots the panel inset in the floor circular in shape and with a linear runic design engraved upon it. Okay, and then we here should be able to use our brush. Well, not eating water hoses. I did not push the D-pad. I did not. A la Tommy Wiseau. So we've got the magical codex. We now know that this is... And we know that each of the sigils that we had before were of different gods. So the question is the purple one a god sigil? Or is it a man sigil to prevent the gods from getting too out of hand? Always gotta love that. I love that you can outrun...
Can't be happening.
Okay. There we go. You dreamt about eating marshmallows and water hoses. Just phrasing it, eating. You wet the bed was my point. Nice. Oh, it's Montauk, a corpse god. Okay. So then, what are the other gods? Like, I know that the one that I picked was Chaturga, but Montauk is if Montauk is the corpse god, are these the gods of basically of god of magic, god of health, and god of mind, body, and spirit, basically? You met Montauk as the woman early. You met Montauk as the woman early in the game. Which woman? I don't know if I remember that. Did you eat the water inside? I just ate the hose. I dreamt to eat the water hose, became the water Pokemon. Again, I know very little about Pokemon, so you'll have to forgive my not being very... Has anyone about Black Myth Wukong? I haven't yet. I have some games I'm wanting to finish first. I'd like to go and get through Baldur's Gate at least one solid time. I haven't finished that yet. So I'm not in a hurry. I have seen some gameplay on it, though. It looks great. It looks like a Soulsborne style game with a little bit more fluidity to it. So I'm excited to give it a shot, but... I'm not in any hurry. And there are also a ton of great games that are coming out later this year that I would like to get at some point, so... Silent Hill is coming out. I think Silent Hill may be coming out. Yeah, Silent Hill's coming out pretty quickly, and... Silent Hill 2, excuse me, rather. What was this one? Okay, I've been this way. Gonna get hit by every wall smash there is. Okay. Or we move retro around a Pokemon game. Twitch plays Pokemon style. Wukong. Called Black Myth it's called Black Myth Wukong, or Wukong, yes. Pikachu is the yellow one. Yeah, I know kind of what Pikachu is. Okay, so this has led me into a square, basically. Yeah, I think you're probably right. That's a good point. I like that you... I was worried that I was doing it too frequently. I like that you told me. You were like, no, it's been a bit. Oh, okay. I'm glad you told me. Save and save again, because that Phantom took away your last save. The Phantom? Oof. Black Myth working. It's a sequel like Management Tycoon. So then the question is, where do I go now? Now that I have this... Like, let's see here. This is... Let's go back from whence we came, so to speak. Again, every one. I stepped in here for just to do this. Retro, can you give us something to eat? The chat is hungry. I don't know what I would give you to eat. I haven't even eaten yet. I know I'm smoking pork steaks for us here. But yeah, I don't know, and I don't know if everybody would like pork. I don't know if anybody here is... Aha, I didn't hit that one. I don't know if anyone here has objections to pork. You're on the complete opposite side of the square. Is that where I'm supposed to be, though? That's the question. Shove it through your monitor. It should go to us. We'll get it. I don't know what part... That's the thing. I'm not sure exactly what part of the square I'm intending... Uh-oh. Okay, I paid more attention that time. And then now we descend. I don't have a rest in peace, Porky, pig friend. My best friends. That's there. You do get a lot. I will say this very. I will say this. You do get a lot of. There's a lot. I don't know why, but there's a lot of. There's a lot of contention around eating pork or eating animal products in general. Veganism has become a full-on movement, and that's fine. I think it's good, but if anyone isn't completely offended, doesn't work well for me. So I don't mean offense when I say I'm going to eat an animal. I'm reverent of the fact that I have an animal, that I'm going to eat the animal, but I'm not, that's what we wanted, darts. Torch. This guy seems to have had the longest one so far, in terms of, like, levels. Or in terms... I say levels. Levels or stages or boards. Usually when it comes to this, I'll say level. I like the term... when it comes to, like, Mario, I like the term board better. But when it comes to this, I'm not. People would soon eat meat in the apocalypse. Vegans wouldn't exist. Well, you wouldn't have a choice. Do you agree that the people that hate Star Wars most are the Star Wars fans? Modern day Star Wars, yeah, I think so. The thing about it is that Star Wars had a whole bunch of really, really good source material to go off of in the form of the EU novels, extended universe, and they just discarded all of that in favor of putting stuff out there that was more mission orientated, and the mission wasn't to make a good show. I've gotten to see the Acolyte now, and I gotta be honest with you, I really liked the first couple of episodes, and then you could just see that they discarded everything that was kind of established, and even went out of their way to discard stuff that had been well established in like the first movie. And I was super disappointed about that. So I think that that's the reason for the hate. All in all, I wouldn't say The Acolyte's worth watching too. If you don't, that's just my personal opinion. If you like anything Star Wars and you're not real big into the EU, watch it, enjoy it. I don't think it was a great show, honestly. It was very sad. In the future, all the food will be Soylent Green. Ooh, it'll be humans. Everybody will be meat drinkers, basically. If you haven't seen the movie Soylent Green, then my apologies for spoiling stuff. Okay, am I just going in a big circle here, or what's going on here? I don't think I understand where I'm meant to go. No. I think cannibalism will happen in the apocalypse. Yeah, cannibalism. There was a question. Okay, I'm gonna put a. This is not meant to be a popular take. This is meant to be a historical take. Is anybody familiar with this speculations of Herodotus? He was an ancient historian, Greek historian, I believe. Just move, Doctor. This isn't rocket science. You just don't need to walk into the blades. Okay. It's a circle that spirals. Okay, so it continuously goes. Okay. So Herodotus was a historian who wrote down, and he was basically met with a moral quandary, which was, he had people that were, the way I understand it, that were cannibals and were not cannibals that were in close proximity. And he asked them if cannibalism was moral or immoral, right? And the cannibals obviously didn't believe cannibalism to be immoral, and the non-cannibals, okay, yeah, now we've reached the chamber of eyes. The non-cannibal believed that cannibalism was a bad thing. The non-cannibals did, and he asked, basically, this was the argument for moral relativity, which was, I haven't read Herodotus since the 90s. I remember none of it. Yeah, so it's been a while. I mean, Herodotus obviously wrote it 20-something hundred years ago. So that's Montauk. Oh, Montauk. I like you, buddy. Your eyeballs. But so anyway, the idea was for moral relativity, moral relativity, which basically says that morality is dictated about Mantarok, say it. Okay.
What makes you think I want to control it?
Hold on 1 second. You will.
Kill him! Make sure you succeed this time.
How are you still standing?
Shall prevail.
I don't understand. The corpse god just protected me, so I don't understand how the darkness hadn't. Curiosity. If I had gotten, I would be very. Make sure. If I hadn't gotten the sigil, would Montauk have still protected me just there, or would I have had to actually fight those guys off? All right, let me see. I know about cannibalism. I saw it on TV. See, it's okay. Saw it on television. Oh, she didn't make it very far.
The heart, flesh, and bone, lest you become like me, a dead, rotted husk. I have waited many centuries for you. It was not easy hiding from the Dark Ones as they searched for me. At first they passed by, not thinking that the heart was inside my dead body. But I was forced to find refuge here. You must seal the heart so it never contacts your flesh.
Okay, I was going to say, you said don't touch it.
Ring of light.
The police station?
Or the world shall fall under a reign of eternal darkness.
Okay. How do I...
The of reality can only be pulled back so far, mortal. Take your stand and fight the darkness.
Okay, put the heart somewhere where I don't touch. Put it in your hat. Put it in your... Yeah, put it in your hat. Oh, that's not a good looking heart at all. Why would you put it under glass? Why wouldn't you put... Like, that's fragile. If that were to break, then all of a sudden you would be... Okay. Okay, well, fair enough. That's funny. That was cool. Anyway. Montauk always protects you here. It's the main story. Okay, gotcha. I think I had Montauk stuck in my head from something. That's alright, that's alright. Seems Montauk was quite easy to control. Yeah, it did seem very simple. The movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind that features the word eternal is a sequel to this game. I think it's a Jim Carrey movie, if I'm not mistaken. You'll ever just get the urge to download a car? I don't think I know what that means. In Sunshine, we agree to meet at the bus station for Montauk. Oh, well, yeah, fair enough. I'm surprised Pius and the Ancients didn't use a machine to erase the memories of these characters. They would have had the... Can you imagine how susceptible Montauk would have been if you would have had the little Men in Black eye flashy thing? I mean, imagine him trying to close all of those at the same time and just not doing it. One eye open, boom, he's forgotten everything. I like him though. I didn't like him at first because I thought I knew what was going on, but I didn't. I think the download a car is a reference to a piracy ad, which ironically features pirated music in the back. Oh, that is weird. The advertisements on TV say that you wouldn't download a car. It's about piracy. Oh, yeah, so Herodotus, I was mentioning that. I'm sorry. Herodotus was basically talking about moral relativity, wherein cannibalism was, he was asking if it was objectively moral or immoral, and he said if you speak with the people that were cannibals, it was objectively okay, because the person that was being eaten basically was giving the last gift that they could give to a starving people, which was the meat of their flesh, or the meat of their bones, effectively. The meat of their flesh and their bones, right? And the people that were not believed that that was an irreverent thing paid against the dead, and that was something that you needed to be careful about. You need to be careful about because it was an evil, it was a bad. And the point that was being made by Herodotus was basically that morality is only a subject of your current surroundings and circumstances. It's a mathematical equation where the best answer is going to be considered good, the one that has the most positive outcome for everybody involved. There is going to be the worst answer, which has the most negative outcome for everybody involved, and there are several iterations in the in-between, which are varying levels of success for everybody, right? And that's kind of the general idea of the Herodotus piece. In the apocalypse, the question is cannibalism a bad thing if it's necessary for the perpetuation of humanity? And, I mean, I'm not saying you should go and start thinking about eating people now, of course not, but if the apocalypse happens, is it a bad thing? It's not a good thing, certainly for you if you have to protect yourself, but I get it. Heard it tastes like... You wouldn't eat a human, would you? I would try not to. If I don't have to, I would try very much not to. Heard it tastes like chicken? I think a lot of people say that everything tastes like chicken, but I have actually heard that too. Yeah, it does. Wait, what? I heard the piracy had this... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember those. I recently was sent a video that had a bunch of references to 2000 kids, and that 2000s kids would remember, and I got a few of those references. I not really a 2000s kid, so I might not get some of those references from that. I was around before. I was around in the before. Insert dialogue about chicken. How much sanity do I have as Alex? I keep recovering. We're going to recover your sanity. You got plenty of magic. I want anything that actually happens in this mansion to be a byproduct of complete lucidity. Okay. The whispers are just a part of the soundtrack. This... Hold on. I said complete lucidity, dang it. She loses sanity with that. Oh, I imagine so. That's what I figured had happened. Like the THX theme, the Disney theme, downloading a car, and weirdly enough, a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse theme. Oh, that's interesting. I insert my Shawshank Redemption DVD and the piracy appears every time. Yeah. Retro's nostalgia is the 50s. But of what century? She loses... I did grow up with a lot of 50s, 60s, 70s influence stuff for sure. But I won't tell you from whence I did. But I can definitely tell you I enjoyed things like The Carol Burnett Show and Red Skelton. And I grew up with music like Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, actually, was one of my absolute favorites to listen to. Okay, we can now take a look at this, and there's more detail. Alex discovers a pulp novel written by one Dr. Edwin Lindsay amongst the books on the shelf. This is where the Tome of Eternal Darkness indicated that something of value was hidden behind the book. Should she look behind the book? Yes. Okay, but you are not to touch the heart, Alex. With the book removed, a secret cache is revealed. Inside is the heart of Mantarok, encased in glass to protect the world from its corrosive energies. Should Alex claim the heart of Mantarok? Yes. So this is the heart of Mantarok, okay. Which would make sense as to why it would kill anything that touches it, because a god of death would be made of things that kill, right? These books contain the history of the Roivas family, genealogy, birth and death records, deeds, and writs. The Roivas history is a troubled one. As Mediterranean immigrants, the early Roivases were shunned by other settlers in North America. Hold on, wait a minute. Mediterranean doesn't give any real specificity. Suspected of witchcraft, the Roivases were convicted during the witch hunts, forcing them into hiding. As memories faded, the Roivases rebuilt their lives. There's not a lot of specificity in Mediterranean, but okay. Okay, hear me out. What if we do? Okay, you know what? Let's see if we can. I doubt we can, but just for fun. Load save. What do we have? 744 is the loser here. Save and continue. It won't let me. Mantarok's heart pulses with unholy life, Though the corpse god itself festers elsewhere, its power resides within this artifact. The essence of Mantarok. I'm confused on what god to hate, because Mantarok sounds like the most awful and evil, but I'm inclined to not hate him because he also seems to be the one that has helped me the most thus far. So... let's see. I like that you still have DVDs. Oh, yeah. I think that's a great idea. The 1850s. It could be. Could be. It's the 80s. I like 60s and 90s music, too. Yeah, it's good stuff. I was a big Beatles fan. Still am. Still love the Beatles. The Monkees and all those good stuff. Maybe Alex is evil? That might be true. Okay, hear me out. What if we touched it? Okay, so I read that. Made sure I was getting cool. Okay, gotcha. Making sure I was getting through everything. Maybe Alex hates the grass, fire, and water Pokemon types, but not the Earth, Wind, and Fire ones, which she's a big fan of. She's always drawn to remember this specific day in September, for some reason or another. Okay, let's go back into the bathroom of evil. Check this toilet. Nope. We're not in the tub dead anymore. She always seemed like a ground fairy type. I couldn't even begin to tell you on that. It's Jennifer Hale. She can play anything from Delicate and Dainty all the way up to Commander Femshep and beyond. Oh, Bastila. That's a good example of the in-between, I suppose. Okay. Okay, so can I dispel with this? Now I have spell list, new spell, so it's quick spell. Nope. Spell list, dispel magic, cast of the blue variety. I could have probably done that with the purple variety and it would have worked, I'd imagine. What was that floating thing? What that floating up there? As the magical window fades away, the piece of parchment that the maiden was holding is left behind, floating in midair. It appears to be a chapter page. Yes, we will retrieve that. Heresy! Heresy! Welcome to the Gothic churches of Notre Dame, where one given a cruel name, meaning malformed, Quasimodo. I'm just messing around. Okay, so now he's using some advanced stuff. Okay, so I'm assuming that that's Chaturga.
I am not your food today. I am your master.
Oh, no, probably not then.
Is to guard the artifact before you. Let no one touch it.
Okay, that's what Chaturga is supposed to look like. Oh yeah, no, that's just an evil lobster. Wasn't that Hunchback of Notre Dame? Yes, it was. It was. If you are a fan, well, I am a fan. I just say that right off the bat. I haven't gotten a flashlight of any kind, which is interesting. Okay. It's too dark. I need a flashlight. That didn't drain my sanity any, so we're fine. Sorry. That time I definitely hit A. That was my fault completely. Still can't do anything with that, huh? Okay. I know I don't have to, but I'm insistent that we keep doing our reading. I still don't like that one. I am insistent that we do our reading from the office that we started reading in. I wouldn't have my back to the door, though. I wouldn't like that at all. Did you hear that Disney said someone can't sue them due to their previously buying Disney Plus? Wait, what? What is that? What do you mean? They can't sue them for previously buying Disney Plus?
In Europe,
Just in general?
time of the Inquisition, paranoia and corruption ran deep. Fear of devilry.
More like a crab than the other two. Okay.
Ancients' corruption.
Yeah, the person who died from the food allergy. Oh, because they bought Disney Plus, they don't have the ability to sue? That's silly.
Researches uncovered an
Calling the lobster evil. What happened to moral relativism? Well,
Luther.
in the circumstance wherein that was guarding something I have to get to, I must consider that the biggest opposition to my good.
Now,
Therefore, it would be definitionally evil, would it not?
the Inquisition prevented anyone from leaving the town and its nearby cathedral.
Of course, from the Centurion's point of view, it'd be good. But I'm not the Centurion. Oh, shoot. We're playing a monk?
Welcome to Oubliette Cathedral,
Brother Luther. I'm glad that our sacred order can bestow hospitality on our Franciscan brethren.
I shall not impose, Excellency. I merely request lodging and a viewing of the sacred relic, the Hand of Jude.
Is
Many
it?
have traveled far.
I was going to say, is that the hand on which the
The hallowed relics.
Tome of Eternal Darkness rests?
Of course, it would be wise to keep quiet during your stay. The Inquisition is here for a reason, brother. We seek to purge the deviancy from this town.
I am sure that will not be a problem.
There's a little bit of an uncomfortable Emperor Palpatine there.
It appears to be, but deviancy is secreted in the most deceptive places, which I believe is the case with Abians.
Then I wish you luck in your search.
The Inquisition does not need luck, Brother Luther. Faith and purity are our guides.
Your pallid look, your pallor and your blinding eyes look like that's probably not your guiding force. Now I know it's getting a little late for where I am, so I probably will play just a little bit of this. I won't probably make it through the entire chapter unless this is a remarkably short chapter, which I highly doubt, especially if you're going to make this pretty. And you're going to talk about the Inquisition. Then this is probably a decently long chapter. So I'll probably play for another little bit, and then I will. There's nothing up here. I'll probably play for another little bit, and then I'll call it halfway through this chapter, and then try to get my bearings and remember whereabout I am the next time I pop in. It was a small free trial of Disney Plus 2 while Disney tried to do. Disney has not been doing. A woman died. Okay, hold on. Ash has recapped it for me. A woman died of a food allergy. That restaurant told him that the restaurant told him wasn't in the food, but it was. Her husband sued Disney, but Disney said you previously bought Disney Plus, stating the terms of service. The terms of service. There's no reason the restaurant of Disney. But good lord. Disney Plus, as terms of service, they say you can't sue. Oh, let's see. Disney Plus, as terms of service that they say you can't sue, you have to go through mediation with a judge. Disney said someone couldn't put Spider-Man on the kid's gravestone that died for some stupid reason. Jeez. I don't think it's legal, though. I don't think it's legal to state that, to dictate that. I believe that if I'm not mistaken, I believe that that's contestable. So a good example of this, and again, I'm not an expert in law, but a good example of this would be a non-compete. Some companies require you to have something called a non-compete in place so that if you leave them, be it by your choice.
Oh, God! God! Help!
Well,
Come quickly!
yes, we killed him. Do it.
A murder! A murder most foul! What heresy is this?
I found him lying here, dead. I called the guards.
Is this our first suspect? Make sure no one touches the body.
First suspect.
Examine for signs of devilry.
Oh,
As for
shoot.
this man, make sure he doesn't leave the cathedral. We will question him later.
But...
Hold your tongue, Franciscan, or it might bring my wrath upon thee. Who is to say that you did not commit this murder?
That's fair.
The Almighty, and you are indeed innocent, that you will have nothing to fear.
That sounds like, well, that's not quite. Okay, fine. Anyway. Gotta wonder what the original Walt Disney would think of all this. I don't think he'd be very happy. I know Disney don't even allow Mickey Mouse or other characters to be drawn on the wall of daycare centers, I think, from what I've heard. Yeah, that's silly. That's ridiculous. Have you ever seen how Simba the Lion King are just a blatant copy of Kimba the White Lion or something? Yeah, Aladdin is the thief and the cobbler, sure. Well, here's the thing about it. This is, and I was saying this the other day too. Disney, all of Disney's major properties from especially the 80s and 90s are all, and even before, are big byproducts of popular literature. Aladdin is from Shahrazad's 1001 Tales, Arabian Nights, right? And I gave a comment on that. They remade it. They were like, "Oh, we don't want to quote unquote whitewash it, right?" So they decided instead to make it again with Middle Easterners. The problem with it is that in Shahrazad's 1001 Tales, Aladdin is not Middle Eastern. He's Chinese. So they decided that he wasn't going to be Middle Eastern. He was going to be Chinese in the book. They didn't, but they decided no, he's got to be Middle Eastern in the thing because we said Agrabah, you know. So it's like, okay, that was weird. And then you have Frozen, which comes from Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen. You have The Little Mermaid, which is Hans Christian Andersen again. You have Pinocchio, that's the Brothers Grimm, if I'm not mistaken. You have Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast, I believe, maybe that's unique. I want to say that's from Hans Christian Andersen as well, but I could be wrong. But you have like a lot of these that they've pulled from popular books, but that companies are sleazy and have lacked originality for. Yeah, of course. But Thief and the Cobbler, I'm glad you have that as a reference. Thief and the Cobbler was awesome. The animation was really cool. I'm sad that it didn't get to see a full. Yeah, Disney still IP from other small writers at the time, like Little Mermaid and Cinderella and a lot of other. Yeah. Sword. Geez, Disney talk. Maybe we should go. Fair. One has to wonder if they should start taking the story's original. Well, I mean, if they'd have taken a lot, to be fair, if they would have had to have taken a lot of the original endings, then there would have been trouble because the endings are incredibly dark. A good example of that would be Snow White's. The painting captures Paul's attention. A small emerald disguised as part of the painting glints in the candlelight as though it has some value beyond being a precious gem. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take it, I suppose.
Are you here to pass sentence on me?
No, I'm here to free you. You are in incredible danger.
Yeah, I figured with all of those...
It used to be a place of peace,
very odd-looking individuals.
Been here. I don't want you to end up like the others.
What do you mean?
The body you found was Brother Andrew, and he was killed to protect a secret. We can't talk about it here. Find me in the bell tower later.
Bell tower.
Aid thee further.
Why are you releasing?
Great music, by the way. Hunchback of Notre Dame. I will give that it.
Said die like your Franciscan brethren. I have seen Brother Andrew make numerous entries into his journal. This may contain the answer.
Beauty and the Beast is an old French story. Okay.
Dark secrets.
I knew there was someone who had done it, but I couldn't remember who.
Who are you? I'd run.
They will surely hunt me if I run. This has to stop.
Then be it on your own head, Luther.
Pixar has been mostly good. Pixar had great early movies. Forgot it wasn't Anderson, yeah.
The old tower investigating. Believe I can find the key.
Hunchback of Notre Dame was Victor Hugo. Maybe it wasn't Victor Hugo though, was it?
Find me in the bell tower, and I will give it to you. Be swift. We can't evade them forever.
Let's see. Coco. Okay, so Coco's a good movie. Pixar did a lot of good stuff, and Pixar has probably had more originality, I think, than the original animated series. But the thing about it is, I didn't hate the original anime. We've warped back into the Room of Eternal Darkness tome. So there's Max Roivas, but he isn't born yet. She would have already been born and dead. Born and dead. Not even born yet, yeah. Okay, and we've already heard this bit, so yes, we'll take the tome, I suppose, because there's no other way forward unless we do. Emerald. The emerald's deep green surface reflects the light inside it perfectly. It's work of master craftsmanship. We have a meditation rod. What does it do? A small staff used as a focus for meditative prayer. Using it will allow Paul to meditate and regain some lost sanity. That's good, but we do also have the magic of being able to... He's got very little health. He's a lot of magic, a lot of spirit, but not a lot of mind, not a lot of... Okay. Have you heard about the sequel to Inside Out? I've heard it was good. I haven't seen it. Retro's too intrigued by that shining doorway near the tome. Yeah, I wanted to figure out... I was like, can I go back out? It's apparently one of their highest grossing movies. I heard it was really, really good. And it makes sense. Inside Out is definitely not as good as the first because so I think Inside Out 2... I think Inside Out kind of makes sense because at that point it's talking about... emotions that were, kid emotions, and I think that the kid kind of is growing up and becoming a teenager, and obviously being a teenager is a very tumultuous time in anyone's life, and it's a time where emotions change. Paul cannot leave the cathedral until his name is cleared and the real murder has been uncovered. To run away now would be an admission of his guilt. That's not necessarily true, but okay. So the character's kind of grown with people, and I think that the people that saw Inside Out were younger, and then maybe it even caught some of them ideally by finding them to be teenagers at the time. Inside Out they were kids, later kids, and then now they're teenagers and they're learning that. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here before you. Sorry. The altar is bereft of holy adornment. No crucifix, no Bible, no sacrament of any kind. Paul is disturbed by this sight. What faith does this order practice? Does the order practice, but... Okay, this is not a staircase. There we are. Well, you saw the color of the... Like, the fact that they were just absolutely pale. There's a Necronomicon. No, it isn't. Reliquaries? Reliquaries? I guess. The desk bears a leather-bound book. It's the Book of Reliquary. You don't say reliquaries, it's reliquaries, but I can't... It's hard to say that. It's like antiquities, except for much more difficult. This Spartan... This Spartan bed shows how the Order treats its visitors. There's no sign of the Order's own quarters, and this chills Paul to the bone. The only man that doesn't need a bed is a dead one. That's not true. Dead people need eternal beds. I found some crossbow bolts. No crossbow yet, though. The personal effects of a priest are scattered across the shelves, rosary beads, and a crucifix, and a variety of other small holy items. Paul believes they must have been Brother Andrew's. Okay, so Brother Andrew was a devout man of Christian faith. Has anyone... Let's see. I remember A Bug's Life in theaters, though. A bit with the birds and the animals super freaked me out. I always thought it was... I think I went and saw Bug's Life. I don't know if I saw Bug's Life in theaters. A Bug's Life had... we've played it on the channel before. It was really fun. I saw Onward in theaters when it came out. I haven't seen Onward. Toy Story 2 is fantastic. PS1 is fantastic. I have to try that. I like to think with Cars, Pixar's quality became less and less consistent every movie before that was exceptional, possibly even masterpiece worthy. I remember a Cars game when I was little, but it was horrible. I was horrible at it. Huh. I also saw part... let's see, I've heard the game based on Cars, but not that bad. I also saw part of a Soul on an app before I realized the app allows you to see the movies for free, basically pirating them. Saw Encanto a few things. Yeah, I was just saying, I think when it came to... speaking of... one of the greatest things that I remember when it came to Pixar, speaking of Pixar's originality and vision, that I really liked, was this little short with an old man playing chess in the park. And I always felt bad for him, but he was playing himself, and he was playing two different sides, and I thought that was just... There was something really nice about that dichotomy, even though he was, you know... but like little shorts like that I always thought were kind of cute. The bellows mechanism supplies the organ upstairs with air. It requires an expert hand and attention to keep it in working order. Imagine so, and there it looks like a mace. Near the organ, a steel mace is mounted on the back wall by means of a display armature. Let's take that mace and hope that armature isn't trapped. Let's go ahead and equip that mace. We have very little health, so I imagine that this is not going to be an easy one. I assumed that our dysentery riddled friend would be the one that had the lowest health, but nope. I saw the bow short. He just didn't like that I had to do an assignment on it afterwards. That's weird. The DMV is a real waiting room for the afterlife. Sucks the years out of you. That does suck. That old man is in Toy Story 2. Cool. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Yeah. I've actually not seen Encanto. There are a few holes missing in my Pixar backlog, and Cars 2 seems to deserve to belong there from what I hear reviews of. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember seeing that, and I thought it was cool. It kind of stuck with me. But it's just mostly because I'm a fan of chess, and I thought that was fun to have a chess... A wine cask used for maturing wine. The wine inside this one must be very strong, for it seeps through the cask, filling the air with a heady aroma. Okay, let's try to gently move farther away from these very agitated trappers. Very surprised that I didn't get sent to the trapper dimension. I still may, though, because look at that. Okay, I'm hearing knocking, but my sanity's fine. I'm going to try to get back out of here without being sent to the trapper dimension. Okay, it's me knocking on the wine casks. Now that I can make a little trapper friend, I don't hate him. I just don't like the inconvenience of getting sent into a trapper dimension when I don't want it. Oh, here we go. Crossbow bolts. No crossbow still. But there are just random trappers there, so for anybody who walks down there, guard your feet. Okay, so we've already done all that. We've got some weaponry. Back up to the surface, I suppose. We're looking for the bell tower. I don't know how they screwed up Cars 2 so badly, but Cars 3 is fine. Okay, all right. For me, it's best sequel, guys. Empire Strikes Back is best for me. Terminator 2 might be second. A heavy wooden chest sits against the room's wall. It appears to be old and worn. Should he open it? Yes, I should. Yep, I figured something important was going to be in there. Let's take that crossbow, shall we? I imagine that's going to be helpful against the bigger guys, the bigger beasts, kind of like the shotgun was prior. Although it's not going to have anywhere near the stopping power of a shotgun. Let's just be very clear about that. This is a closet. The rack carries robes and cloaks for ceremonial use. As Paul draws the robes back, something tumbles from inside. It sounded like a key. Yep, a podium key. Harry Potter 2 had a big spider that I didn't like. Harry Potter 2 had a big... Oh, yeah, I guess I did see Harry Potter 2. Wait. Torch hangs... Let's take that... Can we take that torch? Let's take that dang torch. Let's just take that dang old torch. Why don't we? Okay, is there something on this side that I missed as well before I go and start looking around the podium key area? I have arachnophobia. I have a pet spider. I have a pet... I think I made this... The Retro has at least one spider to make sure we never visit him. Paul notes at the door, the old tower is locked. Perhaps custodian might have the key. Maybe. I do indeed. Aragog was a good boy, though. He'd never hurt you. Yeah, I know I do actually have a... I do have a... Okay. I do have a spider. Yeah, I have a, we have a little pink-toed tarantula named Rosie. What podium does this go to? The cathedral's tabernacle is fashioned from aged varnished mahogany. Its doors are closed and there doesn't appear to be any way of opening them manually. That's an interesting... It's very interesting to have a tabernacle, goodness, hard to say that cannot be opened manually. I don't know of any tabernacles that I've ever seen to be okay. Here's an organ. Playing the organ is a daunting challenge for someone like Paul who has no musical talent. Paul could possibly play the organ if there was some music to play. It's a daunting challenge, but all of a sudden he can read music. Tiny spiders, if I see. I can handle spiders in video games, but IRL is... Yeah, no, spiders are nice. They're the thing about spiders. So tarantulas are not particularly nice. I'll be very clear. I'd rather fight King Kong use powers. Big spiders. The funny thing about big spiders, like tarantulas, is they don't have a brain. They don't have anger. They are just nervous systems, and they eat, and that's basically it. If you are interested in smaller spiders, I'd recommend jumping spiders. They are actually very intelligent and they're adorable. They're so cute. And they just kind of look around and they'll hunt and they bounce around. They're pretty adorable. Okay. So here we are on the second story of the sanctuary. We can see the whole place. Well, almost. Don't let me... Let's see. Retro's favorite Doctor Who episodes of the Planet of the Spiders and the Rectum. I don't know. I don't mind them. I never actually read Harry Potter. I haven't either. I do recommend the Harry Potter and stuff. You talk about a person who wrote it. Oh yeah. Don't let people make you feel bad. That's true. It's one of my favorite series. Read it all. Watched the movies. But reading Hunger Games right now. Very nice. I mostly read Brandon Sanderson. Would recommend. If you're interested, Retro, if you're interested in spiders, Retro, what are you doing? Aren't we even friends? Aren't we friends? We are. You don't have to be interested in them. Spiders yeah, jumping spiders, and they're really adorable. We have a little one we keep around our plants. We named him Peter. He keeps our plants going. He takes good care of our plants, keeps flies out of it and everything. I like HG2. I don't know what HG2. Hunger Games, I guess. I would not want spiders to jump. Yeah, no, they don't bite or anything. They're sweet. They make little webs that catch flies, and they like when you feed them. And they can be trained. Again, I've said this before. They can be trained to give little high fives and stuff. They're actually pretty intelligent. Very, very cute, though. Bell tower. Wait, I'm here. That looks to be a bell up there. Paul is nervous about ringing the bell, fearing his own capture. It is the custodian's task to ring the bell at the appropriate times. Perhaps he will be... Let's not for just now. Let me save the game. And if that kills me, then that'll be where I stop. Just because I said I would be stopping. I need to stop probably about pretty close. Just watch out. I hear the flying car has a hard time moving in the streets. I forgot what it's called. Let's see. You can call him Peter if you like. That's still a satanic creature. I think what's my fear of spiders is that spider in Nintendo Land Zelda in the Nintendo Land Zelda game where he jumps on your body and kills you. And child me wasn't a fan. Oh, fair enough. I wasn't a kid when Nintendo Land came out, so I was an adult working in the video game industry, and so I look at that as I already had spiders. I was like, I'm friends with spiders. All of this saving, I know it, but it's you've seen how much I know this game has game overs outside of death in combat. Okay, just in case. Retro's not doing a no save run. I'm out. Oh, absolutely not. No. Well, sanity effect. Oh, sure, yeah. All right. Church bells are great. Retro is 68, 66. I did say the bell tower, didn't I? Here I come. You shouldn't have rung it like that, though. Glad that he came and nobody else.
Luther, not a moment too soon. As you have noticed, dread things inhabit this place. Shambling corpses, and worse.
Ash forgot a few zeros. Could have.
In the midst of the Inquisition.
I suspect it is worse than that.
I'm the doctor. Yeah.
No proof. Brother Andrew knew this also, and paid the price for it.
Why are you telling me this?
Perhaps you can finish off what...
I know that voice actor that's playing our character. Am I 66? Well, that would be telling if I told you how old I was.
Sealed off since the Inquisition arrived.
I can't be telling that.
Cover the truth behind this.
If you manage to uncover the source of darkness, return here, and I will do everything I can to help. Till then, brother, may your...
No, you're okay. It's all right. Yeah, I did. You don't have to be sorry about it. Not at all. The old tower key. All right. No, I just yeah. It's nice to keep it a mystery. Excuse me. The Doctor Who team better cast Retro as the Doctor. I'm never watching again. Okay, so I got to tell you something. I wouldn't mind being cast as the Doctor, but I will tell you, I really, really, really wouldn't mind being cast as the Toy Maker. I don't know if it fits, but I can tell you right now that special with Neil Patrick Harris, I can shuffle those cards 10,000 times better than he could. Not that he was bad. He did great. But I could do it 10,000 times better. We could have actually had a legitimate game of I'm cheating. I wouldn't have cheated. Of course, that's the only thing I wouldn't do. Three, two, pan fitting. I love the countdown. The skull tool. Oh yeah, I got you. That makes sense. You'd have well, I mean that may, but like. Well, let me answer that in the best possible way. Well, that's all right then. Check the IMDb. Let's see. Checked the IMDb page for this. The monkey you are playing voiced Lucifer in a lot of Shin Megami Tensei games. Okay, that could be where I recognize the voice actor. For. I do love Shin Megami Tensei, so that could be where. Retro should be Gambit. That'd be fun. The monk, not monkey. Well, dang. Lucifer, a.k.a. Alucard. Brother, are you okay? I have to make sure. I'm going to use this. It is darker in here, brother. But you will still feel my wrath. I need to hit his head, though. That would be a lot better if I did. Luckily, it's a monk fighting you barehandedly. This part will hurt, though, so... Okay. Let's finish him and get that sanity back. Alucard is Lucifer. Lucifer. Can we call him Lucy for short? I like that. If my name were Lucifer, I would want to be called Lucy for short, I think. It's definitely a byproduct of a lot of religious belief that you don't hear that name anymore. But the name is actually not a bad name. It is a Latin name meaning the one who brings light. A scroll of aged paper sits on a dusty altar top. It seems to have been discarded. That means I probably should take the shield spell scroll, and I'll bet you that answers one of my spell, the ones that have a number. Let's spell list. It sure does. It answers spell number 7, so it doesn't answer 9, and we don't have 7 yet. And presumably there's a 10, 11, and a 12 down here that we've not come in contact with yet. Okay. Let's find a good safe place. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it. Oh, and we know what this monastery is. We know that this is where our... Yep. Don't tell me I have to kill you, though. Alright. Hold on. I think I'm going to call it out here, because I want to wait and see if I have to kill him or if I can just leave him be. So, that was our friend from before, remember? The one that had taken the curse intended for Charlemagne? Brother ain't looking too good. No, that's true. I swear that ringy in-game sound caught me off guard for a second. That's fine. Yeah, I understand. It's also Colonel Campbell from Metal... Yeah, I was gonna say, that I certainly recognized. Twin snakes for twin snakes and ED are connected. Lucifer actually means mean bloke from down under. No, it doesn't. Great, this is... That's nice. Well, I think I am going to go ahead and call... I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. It's getting late, and I need to get finished with all the cooking and chores and all the stuff that I have to do before tomorrow. So I do want to say thank you very much. Oh, thank you for the help. I appreciate. I wouldn't have gotten half as far if you hadn't have helped me out. So thank you so much, Banjo. All right, sounds good. Have a good one. Yeah, thank you. Let me hop over to this. That. Maybe we bring a little bit of music into it, like that. Cheers for the stream, but please fix my time travel toast. See what I can do. But a huge thank you to everybody for popping in and saying hi to me, talking, keeping me company. I really do appreciate it. I always appreciate it. It is a wonderful thing to get to come together and to get to talk about all kinds of different topics. And we did. We talked about everything from current events and contentious issues all the way to Disney films and what we didn't like about those, to this game, of course, games that we like, movies we like, recommendations, toasters, Doctor Who, you name it. And so a huge thank you to all of you you guys for keeping things interesting and fun and being here with me. I really do appreciate it. As I said before, for those of you who didn't catch on to it, my intention is to be playing this game all the way through to the end, and then I'm going to have a brief intermission game, a game that I really want to play, called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. It is a very contentious game. It covers a lot of incredibly dark subject matter and subject material. It is, I think, a game of redemption, and it's a game that has a good upside, provided that we get the best possible ending. I remember none of the puzzle solutions. It is a dark game, and I don't remember a ton of it. I'm going to try to get through with not the worst ending. There are 4 endings. I'm going to try to get through with not the worst ending. I'm going to try to get through with either the best or the good ending. There's a good ending and there's a best ending. I'm going to try to get through with the good ending, so... That's literally all of this isn't happening. But I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because after I finish this game, I'm going to do that. It's a very short game, in truth. If I can get everything done correctly, decently, quickly, I'm going to be able to get it done in a couple of episodes. But I want to be very clear, way in advance, before I do that. It does cover incredibly dark subject material. If you are someone who is sensitive to this, who is easily disturbed by subject matter being spoken about in an open forum, again, it's not graphically that bothering or bothersome. It's not graphically that big of an issue. But it is something that can be very... it is something that can be very... Yeah, didn't know this. So the game, if you've read the short story is kind of disturbing, written in 1967. 1995, they made the game, and it's kind of a sequel to that. It actually makes references to the short story. The good thing is that they got Harlan Ellison to write it. He actually voices the main antagonist in it, and his voice acting is by and large the best part of that game. But there's a ton of content that is just very, very, very on the nose. And it covers a lot of really awful stuff. Still a great game, still a great story. But if you are easily offended by that kind of stuff being spoken in open form, again, it's not going to be graphically shown to you. Like, you're not going to see all of it out and uncensored. But it's definitely going to talk a lot about it, and it's going to make mention of some uncomfortable stuff. Is it canon? I don't know. I assume so, just because Harlan did write it, and Harlan did voice it and put his stamp of approval on it. So I assume it is canon. But the question is, Harlan Ellison has not been with us for a while. He passed away in the early 2000s, I believe. And so I think he passed away in like 2004, 2005, something like that, maybe. I could be wrong, but anyway, I know he's passed away, and so I don't think he ever put a stamp on what the true ending is. So while the game it may be canon, we don't know whether or not the main antagonist... I'm trying to not spoil things. We don't know if the main antagonist won or if the protagonists won. And I think that's kind of the perfect ambiguity that Harlan loves. Harlan is one of my favorite. If you're reading fiction, you want to read horror and disturbing things, he's written them. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is one of the most popular, but he also wrote Repent, Harlequin, said the TikTok Man, and some other really good stuff. There's a compendium of his stuff on it, but it's definitely darker, and he didn't skirt around issues. Again, when I'm talking about this being a game that has dark subject material, I want to be very clear. Again, giving you just an example, and this is just one of many. You go to the Holocaust in this game, like during the Holocaust. It's remind me a bunch of his work later. Oh, it's good stuff, but I want to be very clear. That's the kind of level of they don't care that he went into. So very, very, very dark material. If you are bothered, you may want to skip it. I love the game. I think it's great. I think it's a great story. I think it's got a lot of good stuff. It'll also allow me to experiment, because it is a PC-only game. It allows me to experiment on a setup that I've never tried on this game. My setup won't look all friendly and stuff. It's going to have red bands on it to kind of warn people that this is a not so comfortable game, that kind of stuff. But I'm excited to play it. I really am. So I'm giving everybody else a chance or an opportunity to take a look, see what they think, what they don't think. But well in advance. But for now, we have this. So we're all here to be offended. So. Some crazy guys. The original. It was all said. I'm already offended for you. Well, I appreciate it. Huge thanks to all of you. Again, if you are interested in a huge thanks to Fighting Max, to Minos Prime. I'm sorry about that. To hold on one second. There we go. I was making sure I got that right. Anyway, huge thanks to Fighting Max, to Munis Prime, to Ash, to Banjo the Wizard, to Viddy's gaming videos. Always a pleasure to get to speak with all of you and to talk with you on all kinds of different topics that we got to talk on today. And I just always have a blast. I really appreciate you guys for... I'm your offense to be offended. But for you just taking time out of your day to come and talk with me and to watch me play this silly game, very poorly might I add, but still enjoying it, having a lot of fun with it. And a huge again, if what I'm doing is not quite your speed, you're looking for other types of things that might be a little bit more your speed, take a look at the links below, because I do have some people that I think make some really good content. Like I said, we've got Thumbros with his retro gaming stuff. We've got Ash for the stuff that he's got upcoming. We've got Viddy plays and Viddy's gaming videos, which make great content of different types, of course, but on both channels. Some candor and some writing, both brilliantly put together. Omega Ace Gaming, who does some really great stuff. He's playing a Street Fighter game right now, and I think Order of Ecclesia, which is a Castlevania title, my favorite one for the DS, in fact. I actually played it on this channel. And then, of course, my wonderful wife is also on Twitch, generally playing something a little bit newer and a little bit more new and newer, not manure, but a little bit newer, and she has a lot of fun doing that too. So I hope everybody has a wonderful time. You have a wonderful rest of your week, a wonderful Sunday, and of course for Viddy, you have a wonderful Monday. We'll see you guys next time.